you guys are hot.
Sports 910.
You made it to Friday. Welcome in. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. Normally Wright Toyota on Fridays. We'll be back there next week as they are ready. Got the call today, Manuch.
Yeah.
The renovation is done. Our set, our new improved set
Nice.
is ready.
Very
So
nice.
we'll be able to go there next week. So we'll get out there and do a couple makeup remotes as we're typically there on Friday. But the West leading Suns, they'll host the Rockets tonight in downtown Phoenix, and they were going to be out a couple guys. We'll get into that in a moment. Cardinals, of course, got the bye week. ASU extended their winning streak to 5. And we are out at Twin Peaks. So we're going to have some fun today. Got a lot to get into. We're going to catch up this hour with Sean Salisbury. We're hoping to catch up with Greg Powers here in about 10 minutes. Greg Powers, ASU hockey coach, and we will catch up with him. We also have Rick Neuheisel on the lineup today. Scott Spreitzer on the lineup today. Kevin Rowe, and you here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Let's get started with the top stories this hour on Fox Sports 910.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Suns tonight, they rolled to their 6th win Wednesday night against Chicago, behind 51 from Devin Booker. They are now 15-6, and you look at the Rockets, 5-16. Torrey Craig and Chris Paul are out tonight for the Rockets. Of course, Cam Johnson's still out. He's going to be out for a long time. But now Torrey Craig is out with a groin injury, according to the team's injury report. So he is out. Of course, Chris Paul now, what is this, 6-7 games now?
This is game number 11 or 12.
It's that many?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
number
how many
11.
I miss him.
They
with
won.
that heel.
And, here's the one thing. I think you watch this team, and with DA and D-Book just being as hot as he is, averaging over 35 points per game, you're seeing that combination. Torrey Craig, I think he's been playing very, very good, getting his shots down. He's been averaging in double figures, doing a good job defensively. And then with Bridges, where he's picking up the slack. So it's been a great team effort. And I look at CP3, it's like they're winning. They've won basically 8 out of the last 9. Just keep it going that way. And in this Houston team, it should be a real good scrimmage for the Suns. I hate to jinx you Suns out there, but it should be a good game for them to win. Keep it going.
Staying with basketball, Arizona State basketball extended their winning streak to 5 after they knocked off Colorado 60-59. Great game in Boulder last night. They improved to 7-1 on the season. They'll host Stanford on Sunday. Elsewhere, how about Arizona? Suffered their first loss. They got beat by Utah 81-66. Cats will host Cal on Sunday. GCU, they got Wyoming tomorrow as they're heading up there. I got to tell you, one of the best games I've watched in a long time in regards to this Sun Devil team, the way that they came back, that first half, they played like they were garbage. They really played horrible. Second half was like another team, and how they were able to come back, I'm not sure how many points they were down at one time, 12, 10, whatever it may have been. Was it that many?
Yeah.
But the way that it ended was tremendous. If you missed it, here's how it all went down.
ASU down by 2, 10 seconds to go. Cambridge. Horn, Cambridge for the lead. Oh, he put it down with 2.6 to go. ASU by 1.
How about that? Cambridge ended up with 18 points on the night. And as I mentioned, they've improved to 7-1.
He just got hot. They got hot in the second half.
And they got it to him.
Yeah, they did. The hot guy, give him the ball. And I'm like, you're only down by 2. What's he doing? You only got 3-4 seconds. Let's just tie this bad boy up and then go down the court, play a little D, and then go into overtime. He was feeling it. Yeah, he felt it. I've got it. Nothing but net.
Side note, can FS1 please, if you're listening, please stop playing the NBC NBA theme song?
I didn't notice they played that at the front.
They play that all the time. That is their theme song. You think when you're hearing isn't
that plagiarism?
That is by far, that is NBC, that is NBA. It is not college basketball,
Sure.
Pac-12.
that's their trademark song. You hear that, and you go,
Yeah,
saying, this
that's
is
what I was
FS1.
doing. I'm like, exactly. Unbelievable. It's embarrassing. Anyway, they need to do that. Also, I say I'm on my soapbox. You soccer fans, I'm sorry. I cannot take FIFA World Cup serious when FS1 carries this with Mo and Kate and Chad Ochocinco. I'm watching the beginning of that last night after the basketball game,
Right.
and I'm like, this is probably one of the worst studio shows I have ever seen. They're talking about what they wear, which stadiums they've been to. So Mo and Kate have only been to one game. Well, Chad Ochocinco, the NFL former football player, has been to like 10. And it's bad. And I can criticize people, criticize me every day. That's fine. But I'm sorry, it's unwatchable. You cannot watch that garbage. How you take I can't take them serious. The ESPN guys do a better job. But FS1, this Mo, Kate, and Ocho is brutal.
And they're the ones carrying the game, carrying the broadcast.
It's so bad.
That's a big reach. Now, I saw Ochocinco, and I didn't understand what it was, too. I think he goes by Chad Johnson now.
I'll give it,
He is who he is. But that is. You can't find Landon.
He's their analyst.
Landon Donovan wasn't available. Some of these other guys, top-notch guys for years, weren't available for your studio show. And then
the Fox studio show's much better.
Yes.
But the FS1 one, it's garbage.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Talk about lack of credibility from something like that.
The LA Kings scored 4 unanswered goals. They pulled past the Coyotes 5-3 last night in Los Angeles. And they have now dropped 7 of their last 8. They'll be in Vancouver tomorrow, the Yotes. I guess all we can talk about in regards to the Yotes is the positives that we're hearing about them getting the arena deal down in Tempe.
Yeah, that is
not what goes on the ice.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, Rock. And hopefully we talk about development. Are they actually developing? We'll catch up with Coach Peters next week, get his thoughts about the development side of these players. So we're going to have to take the lumps for a lot of Yotes fans. But are they developing? Are they learning? Are they correcting the mistakes? Are they hustling? Are they playing hard? I think that's all you can really hope for when they're just getting outplayed. And I think you talk about it, Coach Peters talks about it, getting outskated. That should never happen. They should never get outskated. Outskilled, sure. Guys are older.
Yeah, older, better.
And lack of experience.
Yeah. We brought up U.S. World Cup anyway. Tomorrow, if they get your schedule ready, as they got the Netherlands, the Dutch, that game will get underway at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
They're opening 7:45 here at Twin Peaks, all 4 Valley locations. So tomorrow morning, if you're going to get up early to watch World Cup, I mean, I'm playing golf, so
you'll tape it, right? You'll probably taping it. You'll make sure you get home.
That's a lot. What am I going to tape? All that action, the 1 goal, the 4 shots.
See what'll happen, right? You need to tape because when you get home and you get some of the stuff done around the house, you'll lay down on the couch, turn it on.
There's college football on.
Well, I know that, but I mean, if you were going to watch
football,
it,
I'd rather watch ping pong. I'm sorry, I'm patriotic. I'll wear my USA shirt tomorrow and all that stuff, but it's just the sports just doesn't do it to me. Defense wins championships. I get it. Soccer, you're defending the goal. That's the deal.
And
I don't know, man. For Jax, you're younger. You're early 20s. Is this a sport that you like to watch?
No, not at all.
So it's not.
Just because I don't really have a tie to a country. I know some friends that have obviously, ties to like Nigeria or to Costa Rica. And that's always cool.
So you don't have a tie to the United States?
Not for soccer. No, I don't really care.
You do have a tie.
That's a good catch. Good catch, Dax.
I guess I do.
We hope you're tied into the USA.
Yeah, because if you're not, then you better find another job.
Yes.
If you're not all U.S.
No,
hey,
I am. It's just when it comes to soccer, I'll just look at Twitter for it. I guess.
Oh, man. The mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, who was in Qatar today to observe the World Cup, and they're meeting officials to figure out the logistics of New York City and North Jersey getting ready to host the Cup, World Cup, that is, games in 2016. It was going to be there in the MetLife Stadium, so they're trying to figure out what they need to do to get ready, and I'm sure they'll be serving a lot of beer in New York and New Jersey.
I hear that and I go, how will they be functional with all the games? What stadiums will they use? They're going to have to build some stadiums over the next couple of years or build something that's going to, like the housing, they call it the market square, all that kind of stuff. And to block all that off in New Jersey, New York City, during that time frame for what, almost a good 3 weeks. That's a huge
2 minutes.
commit on the city of New York, and for him to go see how this all runs. But they put billions of dollars into all these facilities, into the housing, into their concessions, all that. I don't know if New York City is going to have that kind of expansive, first of all, budget to do something.
Oh, they'll find the money. They'll find the money. It's just a matter of, do they have enough time to get it done? Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah,
and Qatar, that's a long time with construction.
And Qatar took them all of 4 years. Matter of fact, they're 2 weeks prior to the opening round. They were just finishing up some of the housing more so than anything.
A little bit later, getting a lot of college football talk. A couple prominent quarterbacks for some prominent universities are transferring. They're transferring before the bowl season, which is a problem. We're going to discuss that a little bit later as well. As, of course, big games tonight, tomorrow, Pac-12 championship tonight with USC and Utah. There's so much to get into, but we want to get into Arizona State men's hockey, currently 8-7, coming off a big overtime win over Minnesota, one of the best teams in all of hockey, college hockey. They're going to take on number 1 Denver tonight. We're going to catch up with the head coach, Greg Powers, next from Denver. Talk about the team's early success. How do you keep the momentum? Then we got Sean Salisbury in about 15 minutes. We're just getting started. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Got Jax as well. Bennett studio. It's Fox Sports 910.
6
into the zone.
Mastro scores! Robert Mastro Simone gives Arizona State a 3-2 lead.
Guys are hot.
Well, Sun Devil hockey has been the talk of the town lately. Got a new arena. Got some big-name players like Shane Doan's son, Josh, who just became the fastest Sun Devil to reach 50 career points after he accomplished that feat in his 50th career game. And now signature wins. It's been big over North Dakota, Minnesota. Now they try to keep that momentum with a huge weekend against number 1 Denver in Colorado, which you can hear right here on Fox Sports 910. And joining us on the road is ASU ice hockey head coach Greg Powers. Greg, how you doing? Roc and Manuch, what's going on? How are you?
How we doing, Greg?
Doing great, boys. Thanks for having me on. How are you guys?
Good, man. Well, congrats on the early success. First of all, how do you like your new crib, your new home there?
Oh man, it's unbelievable. We still pinch ourselves every chance we get to go into it. Certainly no disrespect to anybody, but we realize how good we have it now, because everywhere we go, we used to be like, man, we would love to have this. Man, we would love to have this. Now we're like, this is nowhere close to as good as ours. So we're very lucky, very fortunate. The fans have been amazing. The atmosphere has been amazing. And we're looking forward to getting back there.
How does it work for recruiting? I mean, how great is that? Is there certain windows you have right now when it comes to recruiting? I don't know the ice hockey world in that sense, but when is it that prospective players, student athletes can come through?
It's pretty much year round.
Okay.
And it's the building, and and our success there. We're 62 now home, and the crowds have been, and it's just been an electric atmosphere. So it has definitely given us access to the level of player that we just haven't generally had access to out of Oceanside. And so it's going to change our program for the better in so many ways. And we're just going to keep building this thing and get it to the top.
Greg, to Rock's point there, does this gate make you part of the Joneses anymore? Keeping up with the big boys and having that piece taken care of, and then just a matter of, the type of kids where they want to go. And then, hey, Tempe sells itself. Ice hockey in Tempe, Arizona?
Exactly. And it's, we're not keeping up with the Joneses anymore. We were for 7 years, obviously playing out of an 800-seat community rink. But now the resources that we have, there's no way a kid can walk through on a visit and go, okay, I can't develop into an NHL player here. And then go to a game and see, 5,000 people and supporting us. And, and so, no, we beat North Dakota this season in front of 15,000 of their fans. We beat Minnesota number 1 at home last weekend in front of 5,000 of our fans. And now tonight we're at number 1 Denver, another blue blood, a program that has 8 national championships to its credit. And now we need that signature road win. And we expect to beat everybody that we play. It's just kind of where we're at mentally.
ASU head coach Greg Powers here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910, the home ASU hockey. So let's expand on that. How do you capitalize that? How do you keep up this momentum to even get one or split there in Denver?
Yeah, I think it's just a mental approach with our guys. We have a young team, and the message all week has been, you have it in you. You can do it. Like we have everything we need here to have success and get back to an NCAA tournament. When you can beat North Dakota in that environment down 2 that we did, when you can beat a team like Minnesota, that has probably 5 kids on its roster, they're going to be playing in the NHL in 4 months. You can do anything. So it's all about the mental approach and not accepting anything less and knowing that we have it in us. And I really think that the belief is genuine now, and we're hoping to use last Saturday as a springboard into the rest of our season.
So, Greg, you look at this and be patient with me here. TJ Seppenfelter, your goalie. Did I do that correctly?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Seppenfelter, that's pretty good first crack at it.
Not bad for a football player.
I worked on that my plays 10 times this morning, Coach. He's a .91 save percentage. Talk about him, somewhat the Iron Man for you guys. He's been in net the whole time.
Yeah, he's been a rock for us, and really he's probably deserved a little bit better of a fate. We 13 new faces figuring out how we need to play to be successful, and now we're starting to figure it out. So he's been unbelievable. He's given us a chance to win literally every game. And it's my opinion. I mean, college hockey, you play 34 to 38 games a season, and if the players have to play every game, why don't the goalie? It's not like a pitcher where, you got to roll him out there and throw 100 pitches and give him 4 days rest. He's a hockey player. And so that's the way I treat goalies as hockey players, because that's what they are, and that's what we want in our net. And he wants every game. And am I saying he's going to get every game? But he's certainly given us the performance to where there's been no reason to take him out. And he'll be going tonight, and we're thrilled he's part of our program.
Greg, I'm just curious, just for educational purposes. I was fortunate in college to work for my hockey team at Ohio U. We were a club team. We were a real strong club team back in the 90s, as you know.
Really
in the MAC, now in the MAC, or was in the MAC, I should say. When it comes to the club world, which you were in, now, of course, you're at this level, is there still that feeder system at Arizona State with the club?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't say we look at the club team as any sort of feeder.
Okay.
At all. We've pulled up a goalie in a panic kind of emergency situation. But other than that, no, it's not. I mean, there's just so many players out there, and we have 7 draft picks on our roster now, and the active players that we're now getting with Mullet Arena is just a different level. So they're doing a great job preserving that program and continue to do it to advance it. There's 3 men's club teams. There's a women's club team, and I think we might expand that into 2 next year. So, if that happens, we'll have 6 collegiate hockey teams on our campus, which is really, really cool.
What is that in comparison? Like you're in Denver, what would they have there? Or better yet, and let's use Minnesota, which is a huge populated campus like Arizona State.
It's not the model that those schools have. Denver has a men's club team. I think Minnesota does too, but they're what you think of traditional student-ran club teams that just kind of show up and throw their skates on. Where, at ASU, those guys recruit. They recruit kids to come play for that program, and they take it really serious. And they're there to play collegiate hockey. They're just not on scholarship, and they don't get the thrills that obviously our guys get playing in front of 5,000 people, but they do it because they love the game and they want to play at a high level and continue to play the game they love while they're getting their education. And that's what the ACHA at the highest level is all about, is just continuing to give, student athletes an opportunity to play the game they love at a high level. There's only 61 men's Division I teams, so there's not enough stalls. There's too many good players out there that don't have a place to play, and that's why club hockey is such a good option for them.
Greg, I remember back and Rock and I'd call you, and we had your phone number. We'd
before
call.
The Coyotes were here.
Yeah, before the Coyotes were here, we'd holler at you, whatever. Now look at you. I got to contact people to track down.
Yeah, it's hard to get to you, and we got you on a game day. I mean, we got you on game day.
What the hell?
Well, we got to carry the games. That's how we got it, right?
See.
I think that's how it happened.
Yeah, Mr. Big Pad's over here
that's
now.
Good.
But Greg, we are so proud
to go through McCabe. All these different angles to get to Greg.
But we marvel. I know Locke does. I know I do.
Brick by brick, fella. You get there, man.
Hey, you just with perseverance and endurance, your picture's right next to that. So we congratulate you. Keep up the great work.
Yeah,
Coach.
Thanks for the time today, Greg.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the sport. Good talking to you.
You got ASU hockey tonight here on Fox Sports 910. Puck drops at 7 o'clock, and then an hour earlier tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Here on Fox Sports 910.
How far they have come, Rock?
So
it's amazing.
That's funny you say that, because before the Coyotes were here, what was it, like the Olympics? Anything to do with hockey?
Hey, we
didn't know anybody.
Hey,
just like you, Manuch. Before you and I started doing this 18 plus years ago, you were the guy on Channel 12 and Channel 10 and everything. Sure. Everybody's like, who's the former guy? But now our market has gotten so big.
Yeah.
I moved here 30 years ago, and there was 2.3, maybe 3 million. Now we got 7 plus.
If that.
I mean, but Greg's been here forever.
And being a former goalie himself, we would always contact him about this game and that game. And then he's got this club team at ASU. Oh, okay, Coach, what's going on? Well, we go to the rink over here, whatever rink's available. We practice at 10 o'clock at night. But I mean, just you gotta you
go from Oceanside with 800 seats
to Mullet Arena.
To
Mullet Arena.
Nah, Greg's a good dude. Hey, we're in the second half of the NBA NFL season, that is. Our 22nd year of hosting Monday Night Football at Casino Arizona. It's been a huge hit. Jackpot, and our progressive jackpot's over $2,900. We'll be out there this Monday, Saints and Bucks from Tampa. And we're giving away the cash just for watching football. Jax, Manuch, myself. It's a lot of fun. We encourage you to come on down, give away money just for watching football. We do props. We do squares. It's all free. And all you got to do is just be in attendance there in the CAZ Sports Bar. Not to mention they got the new sports book there in the CAZ Sports Bar. And we're getting close to announcement on what we're doing for the big game as well. Getting closer, as you will not believe the preparation we are putting in for the big game. 3 different locations that we'll be involved in.
Wow.
3 for this year as it's being in our backyard. And one of those teams we may see is the Buffalo Bills, and their swagger is back, it looks like. And the Cowboys, are they pretenders or contenders? We're going to catch up with Sean Salisbury next. Also get his take on tonight's USC-Utah game, Pac-12 championship. Of course, he's a former Trojan, and I'm sure he's going to want to talk about Caleb Williams and his USC Trojans. That's all coming up as we continue from the Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Now on Fox Sports 910.
Williams keeps it. First down. Touchdown.
Guys are hot.
Trick of rushing touchdowns for Williams to go along with one passing one. He has done everything tonight.
Caleb Williams last week, that's a 16-yard run. It was 3rd touchdown courtesy of ABC 15, or ABC, I should say. Joining us now on the Right to a guest line, you can follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered, host of the Sean Salisbury Show, amongst a lot of other things on Sports Talk Radio 790 in Houston. Sean, Roc and Manuch, how's your Friday going?
I'm doing good, fellas. How about you?
Good. Are you going to be up early to watch World Cup tomorrow? Is that your thing? Are you into that?
Oh yeah, I'm watching Brazil play right now. So yes, I am heavily into it. I'll be up watching that before college football and hopefully celebrating the USC win tonight.
Is it gratifying watching soccer as maybe going to a matinee, or you know?
Well, that's debatable. The difference is I can always tape the game.
Yeah.
And rewatch it.
Good point.
And I know people say you can always go to a movie. So if you're asking me if a great movie at 1:00 Central or World Cup Brazil and versus Cameroon, I'm probably going to the movie. But if it was USA, I'll delay the movie and go later. But yeah, there's a couple good movies out, I guess. So I'll adjust. But no, today no movie. Just getting ready. I'm just walking around in my USC hooded sweatshirt, getting ready for the game. So
let's talk about the game. What is there? Anything Khalid Williams has to prove to the United States and the voters that he deserves or not deserves the Heisman Trophy?
Well, it's his right now.
Yeah.
He just got to go play well. I mean, if he threw 4 picks in a game or didn't play well and they got beat, then depending on Max Duggan's game tomorrow, who's the Unitas winner, the Golden Arm, so he's still in it. But if Caleb Williams plays 80% of the way he played against Notre Dame, not only will he win it, he deserves it. He's been the best player this year. And considering, it's not like his defense gets off the field and they only give up like 10 points a game and he didn't have to do much. He has to do everything. And they're a dangerous team, but they got to get some stops. But I think if they voted today, if it was over, he'd win the Heisman Trophy. Tonight will be validation because, people are going to be watching. It's the final game, and their votes aren't all in yet. So this will just be, I think, a validation that he's the winner. And if they play well, I think it'll be closer in second place and third than it will first.
I got to tell you, Sean, the ending of that Utah game the first time around, what a phenomenal game it was. The kid, bad position, really nowhere to throw the ball on that last throw. What do you see different? I hear a lot of people, I even hear yourself, a lot of the USC alumni say, if we get some stops or get our defense to step up, they should win this game. So I don't know if we're going to see the first one to 45 win. I think the first one to 24 wins this game.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see because I don't think we're going to want to play them, meaning USC, in some kind of phone booth or in tight quarters because Kyle Whittingham's teams are always so physical. And if it got into that like a body blow game, where you're giving body blows, I don't like our chances on defense. Now, we can run the football. And you saw last week, even with losing their number one runner, last week was a big mix of run and pass, which was awesome for them to mix that in. But I think what you want to do, you tenderize them a little bit, but I think you want to make Utah's defense play more in space. Now, the difference in this Utah team as opposed to others, that Rising's a really good player, and he matched Williams play for play in the first game. So, and I loved Kyle Whittingham's guts to go for 2 and end it, knowing that even in your own building. So, I still think, Manuch, if you said, Sean, will the winner be in the 30s? I'm going to say yes. But it's going to take a couple stops because you don't want to go back and forth because I do not want it to be a field goal game late because if it is, then the kill the clock Kyle Whittingham's toughness comes in. I'd like a little leeway, but our defense, if there's no better time than now to step up against a really good team and give yourself some comfort late in the game. But they'll turn you over. I mean, USC knows how to get turnovers and get after the quarterback, but they give up too many points. They've got to stop it because that's just too much pressure for the offense to have to hang 35 or 40 on them every week.
Sean Salisbury, Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910. Sean, staying with quarterbacks, transfer portal, who's running the show? Now Drew Pine is transferring. He's going in there. We saw McNamara go in the transfer portal. Should there be maybe some rules here and maybe they can wait until after the bowls? And
McNamara got picked up by Iowa
already
2 days later.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm all for if a guy, has used up his eligibility, he's got a graduate transfer. McNamara in his case. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't wait. What happens I mean, to me, what happens if all of a sudden J.J. McCarthy hurts his hamstring in the Final Four?
Exactly.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
Tomorrow. I don't know how. Now, I know people, you're going to get the naysayers say, well, coach has been doing it for so long. Let the kids do what they want. I can't fathom. I cannot fathom. I mean, and if you're Iowa, I can't fathom if you're Cade McNamara. Now, I know he's a graduate transfer. He lost the job to J.J. McCarthy, and I get it. But I can't fathom at this stage of the game, you're getting ready to play in a Big Ten championship. You may need to play, and then the Final Four, that you would go and say, you know what, I think I'll just leave my teammates hanging. I lost the job, so I think I'll just go now. Instead of, even if you're Iowa and you love McNamara, wouldn't you look at the quarterback if he said, wouldn't you respect him even more if he said, oh, yeah, we'll take you. We already know we want you. Go finish the season. Go finish with the Wolverines. Hell, even though they're in the Big Ten, I would want a guy that's coming to me to know that he's committed to my team. Does that make sense? I just don't. I don't mind him transferring, but why not January 15th? Why now? Well, what's he going to all of a sudden put the playbook in 2 weeks when everybody's on holiday? I don't understand. Transferring, I'm okay with if he wants to as a grad transfer. But why would you leave when the biggest games on the planet are still ahead, and you're going to play Georgia at some point more than likely, and if McCarthy takes a hit, why the hell would you want to be the guy to go in? I don't understand it. So I don't mind the transfer portal when it's done for the right reasons. I don't like it that a kid can transfer 4 times without any and go get more name, image, and likeness money. And I hate when people say, well, coaches do it, players can do it. I don't want a guy coming to my school if he's transferred 4 times. I don't. I want nothing, because he'll wilt in the fourth quarter. And you know why he's transferred all the time? Because he hadn't been able to beat out squat at any of the other places. Now, you get beat out and you're hitting or like Hudson Card. Arch Manning's coming to Texas. Quinn Ewers is going to be a first-round pick next year. They're already there. He's caught in the middle. He's a good player. I get the transfer once and want to go start somewhere. That I get. I don't get you're pissed off at the coach for 1 second. Leave on your team during a season when you're in the Final Four more than likely after you beat Purdue, and they may need you. I don't know. To me, that's just kind of a Bush League teammate. Could you wait a month? Maybe. Iowa, I'm assuming if they love you, would wait on you, right? It makes no sense to me, man. And there's got to be some regulations on how many times you can transfer.
Yeah,
it borders on embarrassment.
Or just when. I mean, with Drew Pine today saying he's entering a transfer portal, he's still got 3 years of eligibility. He says he's not going to play in the bowl game. I mean, why can't they wait? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? You still are going to be fine.
Didn't he start against USC last week?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you're the starting quarterback at the most iconic program in the world 1 week in Notre Dame, and 5 days later you decide, you know what? I think I'm leaving with 3 years eligibility. What? Coach Freeman or did the quarterback coach chew you out? I mean, is that what happened? Did somebody get mad at you and you can't? I don't get it. You starter to transfer, and you're exactly right. There's got to be also a time when you can leave. Hell, we're still in bowl games or championship weekend and possible bowl games and big time Final Four type thing for some. Yeah, the Pine thing.
Yes.
To me, it felt really weird. It feels like he had a difference of opinion this past week after the game and didn't like it because he's starting. How do we know who's going to lose the job in the spring? I don't understand it. And yes, we allow, it's way too much Wild West. 40,000 guys or whatever it is in the transfer portal, and they can just do it whenever they want. Nah, I'm not all about that. I'm all for the kid, but to a point, it's out of hand.
Sean, now just real quick, got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes here. The Bills have won 3 games in the last 12 days. Let that marinate for a second.
Wow.
No kidding.
When we think about this 3-game stretch, how they handled that if they move on and win it all, that this was the pivotal point in their season?
Yeah, we knew they were good going in. I had it was my pick the preseason to win the whole thing. And then they've gone through lulls like everybody does, right? You're like, oh, you didn't close that out, or the quarterback made some poor decisions. I'll tell you what it tells me. Is it injuries, poor play, whatever? They've stayed focused. They haven't made excuses for being tired, and that they're a resilient football team, and they should still be the favorite along with Kansas City in the AFC. They just, even though Miami's there, I get it, but I think there's we're still a little more experienced with Buffalo, and after last year getting close. So It
2
tells
minutes.
me they're a resilient, tough-ass football team, and now they're going to get a little bit of rest for a minute and get themselves right. But, yeah, that's tough sledding, but that's what happens when you're good. They like to put you on Thanksgiving. They like to put you on Sunday nights and Monday nights and make you play. And the fact is that they've won them. That's another thing. Pretty good football team.
Sean, good luck to your Trojans tonight. We always appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on game day, man. That means a lot. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, yeah, because what was Scotch going to get in the way between now and then? No, we're good, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We love you, buddy.
Have a good one. All right, bud. Thanks. Love you guys, too.
Sean Salisbury joining us. Follow him on Twitter.
1 minute.
At Sean Unfiltered, and he is brought to you today by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to grow. They're hiring. Talked to their general manager the other day. They have current positions, full-time positions, all over the board, all over their entire business, and they are huge. They're the biggest in the state. Go to allcitytowing.com/careers. Just search careers there on allcitytowing.com, and you can take advantage of it. Their incredible benefits, the 401k program with the generous company match. It's all there, but the fastest way to apply is online. Go to allcitytowing.com and search careers, allcitytowing.com. Make your plans to watch all the football action here at Twin Peaks. We're at the Scottsdale location, 4 locations, thanks to Blue Moon and Coors Light. And we are running a cool contest, giving away a custom backyard patio kit. All you got to do is text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS to 55678, and you will be entered. You can do it each and every day. Standard message and data rates apply. Coming up, it's December. What does that mean on this day? And it's National Bartender Appreciation Day. What does that mean? What do you tip? What is the right tip? That's next. Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910.
This
that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past.
A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Time for your 72 Sold on this. Get our price, a higher price at 72sold.com.
You hear it, Manuch?
Pump it up a little bit, Ben.
He doesn't know who Michael Jackson is.
Yeah, I did quiz him this morning. We were doing our little conference call. I said, you realize Michael Jackson, the Moonwalk Thriller, he never heard what the Moonwalk was. Yeah, we talked about that. Oh, that's crazy.
He's older than me, too. Jackson, really, you knew it. You knew Thriller.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great tune.
Ben, you knew, right, Ben? That's radio shtick on Manuch's part.
You know when you just let Manuch talk just to talk?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was doing this morning.
But at the same time, you need to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You're a big man. You're a man now.
Hey, you know what? Manuch needs this, so I'm just going to let him have it.
I just had to double check after all the above.
39 years ago today, this video debuted on MTV, Thriller. So that was a long time ago. That was a hell of a video.
Hell of a video.
Big time.
What's even cooler is watching how they made the video. It took them like 3 days, whatever.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Michael Jackson
So it took 3 days?
Only. I mean,
to do a video?
Well, that one.
Those videos take weeks, months.
Between Michael Jackson, I think Debbie Allen helped choreograph all the above. It was Debbie Allen. She used to like the show Fame. She was a famous choreographer.
Okay. Right.
That she did that for many years in many movies.
So
they
brought in a puppy.
So it was just interesting to see how they did. How Michael Jackson's involved totally with the whole thing, going here, going there.
13 years ago, 2009, Tiger Woods publicly apologized for having an affair with that cocktail waitress named Jamie Grubbs. Remember that?
Yes, I do. Must watch TV, right?
Hey, we're in December. A few things to look forward to. Obviously, the holidays, but Manuch, the long-awaited Avatar sequel, hits the theaters on the 16th. College football bowl games start this month. World Cup, of course, will run through the 18th. And Harrison Ford's new Yellowstone prequel series, 1923, hits Paramount Plus on the 18th.
They said the Avatar movie, watching how they made that this last week, they've got to make.
I mean, they just made it last week. They've been working on it for years.
They were talking about how they made the movie, how much money it cost them.
Oh, you didn't say that.
And it was like over $100 million or some astronomical number that they've got to clear over $200 million or something like that.
Well,
to make money,
they're going to make it because you got to bring an extra pea cup because it's 3 hours and 12 minutes long.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And you hate to excuse yourself during a very important scene.
Today's Bartender Appreciation Day. It's observed on the first Friday in December. They've been doing it since 2011. 2011. And make sure you take care of your bartenders, all right? They work hard, so make sure you take
At least
care of them.
30% today, minimum 30%.
On this day report is powered by, and it is every day, by 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. Home sellers, you need 72 Sold more than ever, as they have a solution for today's home seller market. And there's no better way to sell your home than 72 Sold. You're making a mistake if you go the traditional route. 72 Sold will show you that they can get you top market price for your home. So check it out. Go to 72sold.com and get your price, a higher price, at 72sold.com.
What was the movie that Tom Cruise made? He was the bartender. Cocktail. Did you spin the glasses like that, Rock, when you were bartending?
I had a little flair. Yes.
You had a little flair?
I had a little flair.
Flip it behind your back.
A little bit. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, but I used to go to a place called Fridays at Fashion Square, or at the Galleria.
The old Galleria.
And I remember my buddy named Flipper and Sam and a couple of the bartenders, because that's when, and that's kind of where Tom Cruise got the cocktail thing going. Mm-hmm. Fridays was known for their bartenders. As you go in there and they make these drinks and they give you all that flair.
The glasses, the shake.
I remember Flipper trying to show me how to do some of that stuff. I wonder how Flipper's doing these days. It's been about 25 years for that, but that's been a long time ago.
Talk about flair. It was a pretty good movie. I think that one stuck out. And then the pool movie with him and Paul Newman, playing the pool kind of remake.
What was that called? I remember. Anyway, Rick Neuheisel is going to join us in the top of the hour. Looking forward to catching up with him. Scott Spicer also still to come today as we're out here at Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. And you got Brazil and someone else. I don't know who that other team is. There's a couple matches going on. I think it's funny because they got you got groups of people that are obviously fans of these particular countries, and you see them get all excited, but they're not getting excited over a goal. They're getting excited over a pass
or lack of penalty being called.
It's like,
what do you mean there's no yellow card?
Right now, somebody just went yellow to red, and
he's gone.
Yeah, they just gave the Cameroon guy a red card.
And the guy's going nuts over here. I'm like, dude, oh, man.
Well, Rock, this is their every 4 years, their time of the year. Come out of the woodwork where they got their jerseys on out here. They're all excited, but you just can't. Cameroon, you can't have guys getting kicked out of the game. Just can't do it. Not going to work.
Good.
I was going to say, they scored the game-winning goal against Brazil, the top team. He took off his shirt. I think that's why he got a red card. So big upset.
Can't do the display.
Hey, pretty interesting here. Our daily digit, 31 million plus. That's the number of fans who tuned in to watch the ESPN Feast week of college basketball games. And that was led by Kentucky and Gonzaga as they led the way with 1.4 million viewers, according to Twitter today. Big numbers. People watching college basketball. Like I said, I got sucked in last night with Arizona State. They were getting beat bad, but just wasn't much else on. I wasn't into that NFL game for whatever reason. I had no fantasy players, and I was just thought, I was like, Buffalo's got this, and I'm not just they're gonna win this one.
Well, college football is weaning off. They're getting into the championships, and there's the playoffs that are coming. But all of a sudden, hoops, and you got some good basketball teams, and you have a team like Gonzaga get beat. We saw North Carolina get beat. See Duke get beat. All of a sudden, people go, wow, maybe we got some more parity in college basketball. Look at ASU. What they're doing right now. I'd love to see it with Bobby Hurley. And can this team finally
Utah beating Arizona last night.
And beat them good. And beat them really good.
I was watching a game with a former D1 coach, very prominent D1 coach, as well as another guy from U of A, and they were pissed. They were pissed because I don't think they saw that coming.
Well, in the first conference game for all the teams pretty much last night, you don't want to start your season up by losing a conference game. Utah just shot the lights out of it. Like ASU getting back in the game. If you got the shooters, they'll keep in games or keep you around to the very end.
No, I agree with that. And I'm anxious to see Arizona rebound off of this game. They got Cal, which Cal I don't even think has won a game yet. Has Cal won a game yet?
I'd have to take a look at that, see if they have. ASU's got Stanford coming in town this weekend. They pretty much got
Cal's 0-8.
Yeah, not good basketball going on.
How do you not even win, against some of your non-conference games?
Well, you look at the non-conference schedule. Basketball down a little bit there at Cal Rock. And then you look at
a little bit?
That's a lot of it right there. Think about that.
Mark Fox, coach, he's in his third year there.
You got Bangor, Maine State coming in and Catawba Tech. You can't beat them.
You got to win those.
You got to win those games. You got to get yourself set up.
We are here at Twin Peaks in Scottsdale, as I mentioned, coming up in hour number 2. We'll catch up with Rick Neuheisel right out of the gate. We'll catch him as he's doing all his pregame stuff for tomorrow's game. Get his thoughts on the SEC championship. As the SEC championship tickets, lowest prices in a long time. No one wants to go to this game. I don't know what the deal is, but big deal there as they're cheaper. These tickets are cheaper than usual. So not sure why that is.
You used to having Bama and Georgia, or Bama and Bama. They bring all the fans. You got LSU with 2 losses.
But still the SEC. This is the first time.
They got 3 losses now.
First time since 2011 that the SEC ticket is not the most expensive ticket.
I think if LSU didn't lose last week, it'd be
a little bit different. A little more juice, a little more energy.
Rick Neuheisel, he will join us next. Scott Spreitzer in about a half hour. We're coming to you from the Scottsdale Twin Peaks. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Right here on Fox Sports 910.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com.
Guys are hot.
Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
Let's get right to it. Joining us now, the right to the guest on here on Fox Sports 910 is Rick Neuheisel. Coach Neuheisel joins us now. Coach, Roc and Manuch, thanks so much for joining us. It's coming to the end here, and you all ready to go with the SEC Championship tomorrow on CBS?
I am ready to go. Just got back from rehearsal over there, and looks like all systems are go, gentlemen.
All systems.
LSU trying to defy the expectation at the beginning. I think they were picked to finish last in the SEC West, and Brian Kelly said, not so fast, and they got them to this game. I know everybody wishes they'd have knocked off Texas A&M except for Aggie fans, and had they done so, they'd be playing for a berth in the playoffs, but not this year, and maybe that slows down the expectations and is more fair to the beginning of the Brian Kelly era there in Baton Rouge.
You know, Coach, it was doomsday early on, wasn't it, for Coach Kelly? I mean, everybody was like, oh, what a bad mistake and this and that. And here they are, a couple months later playing in the SEC Championship.
Yeah, it was a great job. That wins over Alabama and Ole Miss were great, and not to mention that they were in front of the home crowd. So they were huge opportunities to get that home crowd behind his team. Jaden Daniels, obviously Arizona State fans familiar with him, was brilliant in both those games. In the Ole Miss game, I think he ran for over 100 yards and threw for 200 plus, and it was the same kind of output in the Alabama game. And then the 2-point conversion pass in overtime was off the charts. So I know Sun Devil fans miss him as the quarterback, but he's done well there at LSU.
Rick Manuch here, and it's always great to catch up with you. Let's talk about that a little bit. You look at his numbers last year, they shooting his numbers this year. First of all, close to 70% completion percentage. TDs are up by 15. Only two interceptions. So when you watched him last couple years versus this year, was it the coaching? Was it the offense? Or was it just the light bulb went off as far as reading defenses and distributing the ball properly?
I think, to be fair, probably a little of all of it, right? Probably a little of all of it. They certainly played to his strengths. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator at LSU, was the offensive coordinator at Cincinnati the year before. And Desmond Ridder was his quarterback. He ended up being a second-round pick to the Falcons. And Ridder was the first guy to take a group of five team to the college football playoff. Cincinnati getting to play Alabama last year in the semis. So this is a guy who knows what he's doing, especially with dual threat kids. And he put Jaden in positions to be successful, and Jaden rewarded that with great play.
On the other hand, you look at Stetson Bennett. You watch this young man, just the consistency, the big plays. It's as if everybody's waiting for him to falter, Rick. I just get that feeling. That kid steps up more and more. Talk about the poise, 16 touchdown passes, only the 6 picks. And you look at his completion percentage and the way he distributes the ball very evenly.
Well, they have given him the keys to the car. Todd Monk, and the offensive coordinator at Georgia, absolutely believes in Stetson. And remember, this is a 25-year-old kid. I mean, he's been around a long time, given the extra eligibility that COVID afforded. So he's made the most of it. He won a national championship. No one has ever believed that he was good enough to be the starting quarterback at Georgia, and yet he continues to do just that. He's thrown for over 3,000 yards. He's, very adept at getting out of trouble with his legs, and he's a terrific player. Although it's interesting, he had 29 touchdown passes a year ago and only 16 this year. So a little bit more leaning on the run game when they get down close to the goal line.
Coach, I want to ask you about this transfer portal and now these quarterbacks. Of course, McNamara, Pine now in the transfer portal. McNamara already going to Iowa. Who's pulling the strings here? Can't they wait until January 15th or first, second week of January? This seems a little ridiculous that it's happening like this.
Well, the transfer portal opens this Monday, okay? And so these are just indicators that they're going to go into the portal. But what happens is you've got this week that once the last week of the season was over, there is no recruiting. Coaches are basically having one-on-one conversations with all the college kids out there, then saying, listen, are you staying? And here's why we'd like you to stay. Or are you going? And maybe here's why you should consider leaving. And those conversations are not only telling kids they should get into the portal, but they're also telling kids, we may not have a spot for you here. And that's the dirty little secret of the NCAA right now.
Okay.
We got 2,000 kids in the portal, roughly 2,000 kids in the portal, and 40% of them, fellas, are not going to get another job. They're not going to get another school. And for us to leave those guys outside looking in terms of their education is a failing by the NCAA. And we got to get it fixed. We need to be the adults in the room and make sure that we're looking after these kids and providing their education.
But for like Pine, coach, he started 10 games for Notre Dame. He was 8-2, 4-1 against top 25 schools, and here he is, 3 years eligibility, and he's like, I'm leaving Notre Dame.
Yeah,
it's hard as a fan to accept that.
Okay, so here's what I'm guessing happened. I have no inside knowledge, but
Sure.
what I'm guessing has happened is somebody has reached out to him and said, we've got a spot for you. We've got a name, image, and likeness deal for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you come here, you're going to be our guy, and you're going to get this deal. And what you need to do is you need to go and see if Notre Dame is willing to commit to you that you're going to come back into camp. Remember, he replaced Tyler Buckner.
Yes.
Are they willing to commit to you're going to be the starter when you get the spring ball? And if they're unwilling to, you should think about doing this. He's from Connecticut. He probably wants to get back closer to home if it's not going to be the starter at Notre Dame. And all of a sudden, he's got a cush deal waiting in line. Cade McNamara was in the transfer portal for about 1 day.
Yes.
And then he's at Iowa.
Yeah.
These deals are being hatched well before you press send on that computer. and it's bad for college football. This poaching is bad. And we've got to figure out a way around it.
Rick Neuheisel joining us here on the right toe to guest on Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. Well, speaking of the challenges and transfer portals and NILs, Kenny Dillingham named the head coach at Arizona State University. Rick, what are some of the challenges to that he's going to have to face, and just the challenges to bring that program? And Rick, you and I grew up here for a 3-9 ASU program. I know there's a lot in the blender, but after you stir it all up, what should it look like, let's say, 3 years from now?
Well, first of all, let's talk about his attributes. He's a bright young coach. Oregon's offense was 5th in yards this year, 8th in points. That's a guy who knows what to do. He's been around some really good offensive coaches. Mike Norvell, he cut his teeth with Mike when he was at Arizona State. He went with Mike to Memphis. Then he got on with Gus Malzahn at Auburn, and then back with Mike at Florida State, and now with Dan Lanning, who he met along the trail at Oregon. He got Bo Nix to come with him, who he coached when Bo was a freshman at Auburn. So a lot of this is, he knows how to build an offense. Now it's about, can he go get players? Mm-hmm. One thing he had at Oregon was resources.
Yes.
Yeah, by the name of Phil Knight, he provided resources to go and get kids to want to come and be a part of the Oregon machinery. And that's what's got to happen at Arizona State. Whether it be Ray Anderson or Kenny Dillingham or whomever, somebody's got to rally the masses in the Valley of the Sun, and we know how wonderful the Valley of the Sun is. I can't wait to come home. I'll be there in about 9 days. We know how wonderful it is, but somebody's got to rally and make Sun Devil Stadium the place to be on Saturdays. Got to make it the biggest party, the biggest fun place to be, and create an environment of energy that's going to be encouraging young people to want to come and be there. Because if they do, it can be wonderful, and great players will come and play at Arizona State. Don't know what the future of the Sun Devils is with the Pac-12, with the Big 12, with wherever. But I do know that Arizona State's a wonderful place, and there's a great community in and around Arizona State, and it should be a successful program, and I got my fingers crossed for Kenny.
And without the cash, and I hear what you're saying, Rick, because you've been in those living rooms throughout the nation recruiting those kids at Colorado, Washington, and UCLA. So is the other selling point maybe giving some of these 3, 4, 5-star kids a chance to play right away if you don't have that cachet in order to give them, and maybe they earn that? I mean, is that kind of that that give and take, you're going to have to go down that road. Hopefully realize I'm going to play as a freshman versus waiting 2 or 3 years.
Well, there are a bunch of, what we called 3-stars that are going to be left out there because people are saving spots for transfers. So you can go and try to develop, but you're going to have ready-made skill players, ready-made guys like we saw Lincoln Riley with Caleb Williams, like we saw Brian Kelly with Jaden Daniels. Those guys made quick transitions to success because they had ready-made players. And they did it with called ready-made collectives. And if you don't have the money to go out there and put some NIL deal on the block, so to speak, as you negotiate with these kids, then you're outside looking in. I was in the golf cart with Pat Narduzzi as he tried to talk Jordan Addison into staying at Pitt. And he didn't have nearly the kind of bankroll that was being offered by those at USC. And you couldn't blame Jordan Addison for doing it. Is this a sustainable model for college football? I don't think so, but it's the way it is right now. And if you don't have an ability to get kids to want to be a part of something, as well as, take care of their financial needs, or at least their inner circle, or sitting there financially wondering what's available, you got to have something that can, be at least competitive with all these other schools that are certainly doing that to encourage kids to come to their campus.
Coach, we're not seeing numbers published on what these kids are making. What are you hearing? What is a range of what at least the top players outside the collective?
Well, I'm getting ready to do this Georgia LSU game, and my sources, and this is non-confirmed. Okay,
sure.
This is all, and most of the conversation when you hear it is almost always exaggerated.
Right.
But my sources are telling me that every kid on Georgia's team is getting $6,000 a month through the collective, added to their scholarship. So that's
30.
a huge chunk of change for 85 kids, and I don't know if the walk-ons are participating or not. That's a huge chunk of change. That's a commitment. And there's money now, given what's going on in the television world, to do that via your academic, your resources that are coming in from television. But if you are getting that money from boosters and donors, now you're creating pseudo owners that are going to make it very difficult to run the business as we've run it in the past. So that's what's going to be really interesting. But if I'm Ray Anderson, I've got to go and get a group of guys that are interested, or families that are interested in supporting Sun Devil athletics, and we've got to create a collective that can compete with these guys so that kids want to spend their time at Arizona State rather than take the money to go elsewhere.
Oh, I hate this. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Rick, thank you, especially. You're on the road, and we always appreciate when you come back. We owe you some golf, and you'll give us a bunch of strokes. So we'll look forward to
at least 5 aside.
Yeah, at least 5 aside.
I cannot wait to tee it up with you boys.
Let's
get it done.
We'll get it done. Absolutely. Coach, thank you, as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, guys. Take care. Enjoy the weekend.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Rick Neuheisel. Catch him tomorrow on CBS. You can follow him on Twitter at Coach Neuheisel. He's a stick.
He's a good player.
Stick. Yeah. So we at least 5 aside. I'm going to have to ask.
I played with Rick many years ago. I think I shot like a 95. Played Paradise Valley Country Club. He shoots like an 82. And he had a bad day.
I think he's a member of Phoenix. But anyway, it says ASU new head coach. Is he taking a page out of Jim Harbaugh's school of coaching? We're going to tell you what that means next. Plus, break down some of the unusual things that may happen in this postseason for college football. That's next. Scott Spreitzer in 15 minutes. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
game so far. 1st and 10 of the 25.
Guys are hot.
With a lay, Donovan Edwards down the sideline. Gets past Ransom. Donovan Edwards. Touchdown, Michigan. The Don.
Just keep putting the knife in you.
It's good therapy for you, Rock.
Fox, that got the score 38-23. Michigan, Ohio State. Speaking of Michigan, here's John Harbaugh talking about how he relies on the high school coaches. And there's been some talk this week that Coach Dillingham, we were just talking about it with Rick Neuheisel, really relying on the local community, the local coaches, guys like you, Manuch, who train the kids. But how much of that, how important is that to do that? And here he is. This is Harbaugh talking about relying on these coaches, these high school coaches, and making sure he's getting those high-character guys.
Person I talk to is their coach, and always have. I mean, that's always been the best indicator to me is talk to their coach. I mean, tell me about this guy, and they'll tell you. Not always in the words exactly, but they could like roll up in their chair and be, "This is the best guy I've ever coached in a generation. Kind of guy I'd want to marry my daughter." Yeah, you can tell. Or they kind of lean back in their chair and go, "Well, I think he'd be good in your program. You know, once he gets around your guys and your strength staff." He's telling you without telling you. The thing have paid it the most attention to, and will continue to.
That's what Coach Dillingham needs to do.
And he will, Rock. He'll have a great relationship with all the coaches, like Coach Fish did when he got down to Tucson.
Yeah.
He did a blitzkrieg with all the coaches in Arizona. I mean, all of them, north, south, east, west, touching base, saying, "Look, we're here. We can't recruit everybody, but if you got some talent, please let us know." And it's interesting what he said right there about the coaches, because if he's going to ask you about 2 or 3 guys that you like, or at least stick out on tape, you better tell me the truth. Because when you roll up in that chair, I can see it. Yeah, this kid's one of the best, and he can spot a BSer from a half mile away. Versus the guy that sits back and goes, "Coach, he's got a chance. Here's the things I like." Because if you come across a coach that's going to BS you every time you call and want the honest opinion, he's going to negate you. And he said, "Look, Coach,
Sure.
I can't trust you. We recruited this kid. This kid was a bust. Now, well, there's a scholarship, but he's not everything we said." Because a lot of coaches, not only do they go to the coaches, they go to some of the teachers. They come to guys like me. They'll go to the trainer. You give them this straight screw. And I've talked to many coaches, Rock, head coaches, offensive coordinators, even line coaches have called me on some of the guys. I say, "Here's the deal. Here's his pros. Here's his cons. Here's what he needs to work on. Here's the deal." And they've appreciated because I've been brutally honest.
And you're not being compensated if the kid gets into a D1 school or D2 school anyway.
My only compensation, I'm proud that they're getting a chance to get an education and play football and move on from there. It's a bonus.
Sure.
And I think that's what Harbaugh is saying. I've got to be connected. Mike Sumlin down there at U of A was disconnected. The coaching staff prior to ASU here, I mean, I don't know how connected Herm was. When I talked to a lot of coaches, he wasn't real connected. Todd Graham became unconnected. I mean, this is your lifeblood. This is your marketplace. Set close to 7 million people in a 50-mile square radius. There's tons of high school kids. Now, they're not all D1 recruits.
Yeah.
But the ones that are, you got to have your fair shot, and you better come clean with the head coach.
Yeah, I guess I'm a Harbaugh fan. I mean, I'm not a Michigan fan because I'm a Buckeye fan, but I respect Coach Harbaugh. I've been fortunate to meet him. I've interviewed him. Nice guy. But here he is. I liked what he said about the high school coaches, but this is where I really give him a lot of credit and a lot of respect for giving his walk-ons some love.
Yeah, I'm going to give a game ball to every walk-on that played in the game. It's a token of appreciation for, how challenging that is, how tough that is. We can talk about stars all you want, and maybe there's maybe a disrespect in some of that. But I mean, to be told coming out of high school that you're not good enough. You're not good enough to even be offered a scholarship, and for somebody to say, "Well, I'm not going to get better. I'm going to get better, and I'll show you." I know what that feeling's like, and just have a tremendous appreciation for players that do that. on our team or any team, but especially on our team.
That's
It'd be a walk-on at Michigan.
Yeah. Remember when?
And Jax, you're a walk-on, right?
Yeah, I was a walk-on as well. Yeah, that's a great thing that Harbaugh is doing, because I mean, walk-ons are just like normal scholarship players. You do the same thing that scholarship players do. You work just as hard, maybe even harder, just to get the attention of the coaches, scout team, and stuff like that. Special teams.
And the one thing that does this to Colin Coward here, who was on before us on the way over, he had one of the former Michigan players who's now a broadcaster. I forget his name, Jason something or another. And he was talking about when Harbaugh got there, their practices are limited, right? So if they got to be there from 3 to 7, that includes study time, whatever. What he would do in spring football to help the meetings, he had an A team and a B team. So he would divvy up the walk-ons and the players, blend them all together. So he'd go 2 hours of practice with the A team, send them home, and then he'd get the B team, which include a lot of the PWOs or preferred walk-ons, and have them practice for 2 hours. I mean, that's brilliant to get on a campus and go, let me see what we have. We're going to teach you how we do things. The film study can wait. And then when they got into their regular season, a lot of those walk-ons or kids that don't play a lot were getting developed in spring football. I mean, that's genius to have these kids learn the game of football. And that's what he's brought to Michigan.
I just can't imagine. You're a walk-on at Michigan.
Yeah.
You get a game ball.
Sure.
Whatever it takes you after college, whatever you're going to end up doing, you get that education at Michigan.
Grades.
And then you got this game ball because you got in for a snap or two or even more. All that hard work. I mean, you're going to treasure that for the rest of your life.
Well, a lot of schools will do the special teams player of the week and the scout team player of the week.
Yeah.
And that's huge in these programs to say, look, what you're doing, we need you to run the scout team.
So do we know, I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you guys do, is, we're talking about the NIL with Rick Neuheisel and the collective. If the roster, say, 85, 90 guys, those walk-ons, are they getting a piece of that? Is the Georgia kids getting part of that $8,000?
That's a good question. I know that at Texas Tech this year, anybody that was on the team.
So I would assume that the walk-ons, you're on the team.
You're on the team. Yeah, you're
so
on the
you
team.
get the cash.
If you're practicing every day, and a lot of them dress out too,
because that helps pay for their education.
Exactly. So it was I think 105 players.
You love those. You love those stories on ESPN Game Day, where you see a player taking his NIL money and putting it to good work.
Absolutely.
Like, feeding, turkeys
to absolutely.
And privileged families during Thanksgiving.
And for Tech this year, for Texas Tech, it was if you started the season, finished the season in good standing, passed grades, you got $25,000.
Yeah, and there were a lot of schools that did that.
That's
and,
awesome.
I mean, I remember BYU was maybe the first one that came out and said they were going to do it.
They got a lot of cash in those coffers.
I understand that. But I am concerned that Arizona State doesn't have that. They don't have that alumni base. They don't have that group of families like Neuheisel just said. They're going to come together. Now, they have a group of alum that have played professional sports.
Right.
If you could put a collective together with all your alum that are actually professional sports, from the Phil Mickelsons to the James Hardens, I could go on and on, then you may have something.
Yeah, and we talked to, is it Brian Harkey? He's got $1 million raised already. Scott Harkey, I'm sorry. And we had Scott on talking about that. And they realize as alumni, as people at Arizona State, they've got to raise those funds. So they've got $1 million there. If they can increase that to $1.5 million, $2 million. Yeah, and
$1 million goes fast.
And Rock, you heard it. I mean, to compete with the Joneses, you got to have the cash.
Yeah. Hey, if you like pickleball, the 2022 Legacy Championships presented by Talking Stick Resort will be held at Bellbank Park at the Rocket Protein Center, December 16th to the 18th. This is an amateur event for all ages starting at 8 years old with a grand prize or a purse of $25,000. Yes, for amateurs. You heard me right. $25,000. So if you like pickleball, you want to play December 16th through the 18th. For more information to register, head to legacysportsusa.com/sports. That's legacysportsusa.com. Well, we're going to go up to Vegas, catch up with Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com, handicap these college games for the weekend. Yeah, we're going to get updated on these big games tomorrow. That's next as we continue on from the Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. A lot of people here watching World Cup. It's Fox Sports 910.
nation's premier handicappers. From DocSports.com and seen every week on ESPN Sunday Countdown, he's Scott Spreitzer. And he's here to help make
Guys are hot.
your picks pay out with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
All right, we're going to go USC, Utah, TCU, Kansas State, Purdue, Michigan, LSU, Georgia, and then we'll finish it off with Clemson at North Carolina. How we doing today, Scott? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, guys. Can't wait to get to it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, we got two teams that met earlier this year with Utah and USC, and that was a good one, 43-42, and USC's only lost, and we haven't seen back-to-back championships in the Pac-12 in a long time. All right, we see USC minus 2.5. Still the case?
Yeah, most books still have 2.5. There have been a couple of threes that have popped up, both in Las Vegas and elsewhere, just over the last few hours. So the 2.5s in some places have a little bit of extra juice with it if you want to lay the 2.5 with USC, and then again a couple of threes out there. I don't know if all the books will get to 3 by kickoff, but you mentioned earlier this season Utah won the game on that late last-minute touchdown and 2-point conversion, 43-42. And I was looking at Utah when I was digging into this game and just checking out the dichotomy between home and road and home and away. And obviously it's not a road game, but it is away from Salt Lake City. But they go on the road, they lose to Oregon, UCLA, they lose to Florida. They escaped at Washington State up in Poland, and they averaged less than 5 yards per play in that game. Then I was looking at Cam Rising in those games I just mentioned on the road. If you look at what he said at home, 8.5 yards per pass, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In those games I just mentioned, those 4 games, 6.5 yards per pass, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. It's like, home field really does mean a lot to Cam Rising. And as far as, the running game, you don't have Tavian Thomas anymore. He's banged up. And USC won the rushing game in that meeting earlier this season. I also thought they dominated in the trenches last week against Notre Dame. I think they're playing extremely good football right now. They're healthier. They're more talented. The line is fair at 2.5, so I went ahead and made a little move on USC in this game.
All right, Scott, the second game, number 3, TCU at minus 2.5 versus let me stand up, put my hand over my heart, my fighting Kansas State University Wildcats, number 10. My Cats were up 28-10, if you recollected that game in Manhattan, and it seems as though TCU scoring 28 unanswered points, and then that big victory over Baylor. They won it by hustling that field goal team on there, getting the 3 points for the win. Seems like those 2 games flipped the script for TCU to move forward. Do we have any chance whatsoever from Wildcat land in the Little Apple to win this game?
I think so. And the serious money, State, they're down to as low as 1.5 in some books, still 2 in most. But, I was watching that game while doing a Saturday night radio show, and it's a 3-hour show, so I got to sit there and watch most of it. But, you mentioned K-State was kind of having its way, 28-10. They gained over 10 yards per play in the first half. They had already lost Adrian Martinez. They only threw 2 passes before he got knocked out. And Will Howard, very capable, obviously, was playing well and was extending the lead, and then he got hurt. So you're down to your third-string quarterback for, a stretch of the game, and then Will Howard came back in the game. But by the time he got back in there, momentum had changed sidelines, and TCU was on the way to the win. But K-State also missed 2 field goals in that game, and they committed 2 turnovers. I think K-State's got a solid chance here. Then TCU, I was watching the replay of that game last week where they blew out Iowa State by 48, and it barely told the story of the game. They got outrushed, TCU, in that game, believe it or not, and they had only 47 yards more in total yardage than Iowa State, yet won by 48 points. It was a lot to do with turnovers, defensive touchdowns, that kind of stuff. A lot of pressure on the Horned Frogs that they haven't faced before. I'm going to say that I'm going to go with your alma mater here, and I'm going to say Kansas State upends them in this game.
Well, I'll be wearing that letter jacket at the high school game tonight. By the way, it still fits. It still fits. Circa 1978. I'm telling you, Scotty.
Boy.
I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it.
Well, the cool thing is you can wear purple, and then you can say you were on either side when the game's over, right?
Scott Spreitzer joining us here, DocSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at Scott Wins. All right, well, during this college football playoff era, the winner of the Big Ten Championship has advanced to the CFP 6 of the 8 seasons. So this is a big one. Very pivotal game with Michigan and Purdue. A lot of points, 17.5. Do you go with the points on this one, Scott?
I think that Jim Harbaugh has turned that corner. I really do. I mean, last year he finally got the win over Ohio State. Everybody thought that there might be a letdown, and they went out and they just kicked the crap out of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I mean, the corn in Iowa does not taste good after that. And so I'm looking at this. I'm from Nebraska. I got to throw that in there.
Sure.
So anyway, as far as Michigan is concerned, I think he turned the corner. And I thought what he did last week against the Buckeyes was not only unexpected, but ingenious by him and his staff. They haven't thrown the ball all over the field all season long. And we weren't sure if J.J. McCarthy could. And then he comes out last week and he's just firing the ball and just picking apart the Buckeye safeties left and right. I mean, it was impressive. The play calling, the play itself. So now they're going to go up against Purdue. I don't think there's going to be any letdown. And Purdue can't run the football. They're a one-dimensional football team. If you look at their yards per point, they're outside the top 70, while Michigan's in the top 5. I know they want to have Blake Corum, but he was injured and banged up last week too. So, and then of course the tragic situation with Aiden O'Connell having the family issue, and he missed practice this week, but he's going to play. The quarterback for the Boilermakers kind of hurts them also. So I just think Michigan has turned that corner under Harbaugh, and I think they go out and they win by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
All right, Scott, let's move on. Number 14, LSU versus number 1, Georgia. Again, 17.5. It's Brian Kelly versus Kirby Smart. How much does that come into play? Jalen Daniels, former Sun Devil quarterback, playing very, very well, or is this all Georgia on a downhill?
It's tough on this one because Georgia's in the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah.
So they can lose this game and they're still going to be in the playoffs. And we have to see how the motivation factor is. You mentioned Jaden Daniels. He's got the ankle injury. So we'll see if he's able to go or is close to 100% or not. He was LSU's entire offense in last week's loss to A&M. And I think if he's not 100%, it obviously hurts this offense. I don't believe this Georgia team is at the same level as last year's. They're the best team in football, but I'd probably take last year's version over this year's version. Still the best team in the country. But again, they don't have to win this game to get to the playoffs. And Kirby Smart hasn't really been piling on teams when he gets big leads in the second half of this season. You look at Bennett, 15, 16 touchdown passes. He's not firing the ball all over the place. So, guys, this game I had to pass because I just don't know that Georgia's going to keep trying to pile it on if they get a decent-sized lead.
All right, the last one, the ACC championship game. Clemson, the Atlantic Division winner, got North Carolina, the Coastal champ, tomorrow at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Who do you like in this one? 17.5 as well.
Yeah, I'd like to go against Clemson. They're laying, 7.5? Actually, I think it's 17.5, but they're 7.5.
Oh, 7.5. Excuse me, I read that wrong.
Yeah.
My bad.
And I'd like to go against Clemson, but I can't do it the way North Carolina has finished up the season. Not just the last 2 games where they were a favorite in both, but lost to NC State and Georgia Tech outright. But the previous 2 games before that, they won, but by a grand total of 5 points. So they're basically half a dozen points, North Carolina, from an 0-4 slide right now. And their quarterback, Drake May, he got shut down the last 2 weeks. His last 2 weeks, he's a 57% passer with more interceptions than touchdowns. And I know you got the Clemson quarterback and Ogalalele, who looked terrible last week against South Carolina, 8 completions, 21 incompletions. But I think this team is pretty talented compared to North Carolina, and I don't like the way the Heels have struggled down the stretch. I think Clemson gets them by about 10.
All right, Scott, so here's our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question today. So what underdog in the conference championships games has the best chance at an upset? Is it Utah over USC? Is it my Cats over TCU? Is it LSU over Georgia? Or Purdue over Michigan? And if you want to vote, just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter there, big fella.
Well, I like K-State over TCU. I think that's a game that K-State's going to win, and unfortunately put TCU. By the way, here's a real quick note. If Kansas State wins this game, you're going to want to go against TCU in the bowl game. I mean, these teams that go 11-0, 12-0, and then lose in the conference championships with a playoff spot available that they let slip away, those teams have been horrible in bowl games. So I'm hoping K-State wins tomorrow, then I get to go against TCU in the bowl game. There you go.
I would love that. I'd love that. Hey, what do you think about your new hire there in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think out of all the guys that were mentioned along the way, this is the guy because he's all into player development, and that's something Nebraska hasn't had. I guess Pelini was probably the last one that seemed to be concerned with player development. Doesn't matter how good the 4-star, 5-star kid that comes in, if you don't take him from high school to the next level in college, then you're not doing your job. And they haven't had anybody doing that for a while. Real quick note, I don't know a lot of people out there that, just kind of pay attention as a fan or really don't pay a lot of attention to Nebraska because they've been irrelevant for so long. They didn't tackle in practice under Scott Frost.
No.
And their defense missed numerous tackles every game. This will be a tougher team. I think 2 years from now, we got Matt Rule maybe winning 9 games. That's what I'm hoping for.
I had a chance to talk to Chuba Purdy. He came off an ankle band surgery. It's similar to what Tua had. He'll be ready to go in about 6 weeks, but he said they'd love the move. Sorry to see Mark Whipple going. Whip's probably won't be that offensive coordinator. But he said the excitement and enthusiasm for what you just said there, Scott, about player development and doing things the right way all the time, every day.
That's Matt Rule, man, and he did it at Temple and Baylor. Look at all the pros that Temple sent to the NFL under the tutelage of Matt Rule. Temple. I think I haven't looked it up, but I bet you they got more pros right now than Nebraska. So,
hey Scott, real quick as we let you go, is there a lot of action on the Fury fight?
There hasn't been much talk about the Fury fight.
Yeah.
I got to tell you the truth. I mean, it's just like, it's Saturday night. He's a huge favorite. You got to lay like $2,400 to win 100.
Jeez.
So, you guys probably do that all the time.
No way, man. No.
Your big wallet. So, yeah, I mean, this is that stuff where you want to say, you want to have entertainment. You take Fury, you pick a round, you see he's going to win by knockout, you pile it all together, and all of a sudden you reduce your price a little bit on that. But I don't know. I'll be watching a little bit, but not really paying too much attention.
Good advice there. I like that. That's what we're going to do then. Perfect. Scott, have a great weekend, buddy. Thanks as always.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, Scott Spreitzer. Follow him on Twitter at Scott Wins. He's part of DocSports.com. He's been coming on with us for 18 years. Always love when he comes on. Hey, make sure to listen tomorrow. They're not as good as Scott, but they're working on it. The only local sports gambling show in Arizona. Take the Points, presented by Casino Arizona. It's live at the Sportsbook in the CAZ Sports Bar. Bauer, Gross, Jax, every Saturday from 11-1 right after Backspin, the golf show. It's uncensored sports betting. Yes, uncensored sports betting. And sometimes they'll kind of go off script and bring on like the voice of the Suns and talk about his travels.
Don't say us. Say Bauer.
Yeah, Bauer needs to realize he gets paid to do a sports gambling show.
Key phrase there.
Yes, paid.
Well, maybe they're trying to get the odds on whether you can make connections with this fly.
I heard that. I'm like, I'm tuning in for 2 hours to hear what games I should be betting. and they're talking to Kevin Ray about his travels, how the Suns travels for being a TV voice, TV guy.
We have our moments. As
No, he's got 2 strikes.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that fit right into that spot. Hey, we're going to kind of shift gears for once. I'm just going to take a few minutes, but a lot of people they go shopping this weekend, right? This is the time to start getting the holiday shop. So the most underrated holiday gifts. And if you like Pepsi and you like milk, it may be the new next thing. Tell you about that next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
What's going to happen?
Hey, Manuch.
More sports, more Jody. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Now in mornings, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910.
Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
Did you know that Troy Aikman in only 6 years has passed for 16,303 yards? Did you know the career record for most hits is 4,256 by Pete Rose, who was not in the Hall of Fame?
Do you know that my next door neighbor
Guys are hot.
is Rabbit?
Now time for Fox Sports 910's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B to give you the random facts of the day driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Find new roads at your Chevy dealer. For a dealer near you, head to valleychevy.com.
All right, it's a holiday shopping season. So what do you buy for someone who has everything, Manuch?
Oh, man. What gift card don't they have?
Well, I mean, you could go more practical. Manuch.
Yeah.
Like toilet paper.
That's
it's
not
not sexy, but it may be boring, but they might love it. Like, you're going to tell me if your wife gives you some socks.
Yeah.
You're this is cool.
Sure,
That's one less thing you got to go out and buy.
Yeah, because I need them most of the time.
Exactly.
Something I need.
So these practical. So what I have is people online are talking about the most underrated gifts they've received. And that there's a lot of practical stuff out there. And these are some of the highlights.
Okay.
All right. This is pretty good. Extra phone chargers and wire organizers.
I can see
I
that.
can use that.
Sure.
Some nice new sheets or towels.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, these are practical.
Yeah, that's very practical.
Maybe a nice tote filled with some, crackers and cookies and soup when you're on the road.
Absolutely. Driving around town.
Maybe a premium subscription to Spotify or HBO Max to watch Hard Knocks.
Absolutely.
Gift cards, but for local non-chain restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Chili's or Outback. Yeah. It needs to be like Twin Peaks,
or
like Arena or Venezia's or something like that.
Got it.
Love grocery. I don't gas card. I don't need one of those, but grocery gift cards.
Sure, absolutely.
For you, Manuch, because I don't wear them. Nice, comfortable pajamas.
So
let me ask you, what is the age that guys start wearing pajamas?
Oh, guys.
No, what do you think? What do you think the age?
Where
is?
they have no worries about don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I think 55.
All right, so I got a year.
Yeah, you got a year, Rock.
Jax, you're not wearing pajamas, do you?
No, I wear probably like just athletic shorts and a t-shirt.
T-shirt.
You wear like the pajama pants?
He's got slippers too.
Oh yeah, brother. I've got some.
Time to go to bed,
Here's
honey.
Here's the thing.
Put on the bad PJs.
I've got the.
Does she read you a bedtime story too?
Yeah.
No. I'm usually doing that.
Milk and cookies by the bed.
Then this you have when it's in summertime you have light comfy cozies, and then the wintertime more of like flannel comfy cozies.
I just feel like I get too hot.
You don't.
At night.
We keep it about 70-ish, in there. But yeah. Then you walk around. It's like great.
What's on the pants? Is it like a flannel pattern? Is it?
You got a flannel if it's chilly.
Okay.
So from the chilly months, it's the flannel, and then you have the basically.
It's got to be 60 plus. It can't be 55.
No,
is
man.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
If it's a little chilly, it's that you're still warm.
That's why you got sheets and blankets.
Well, yeah, you pull that over the top.
You wear a t-shirt with shorts.
Get up in the morning, my
boxer briefs and a t-shirt.
We got my slippers right there on the side of the bed. Get in and slip into those.
You sleep with your socks. Oh, you sleep with socks on?
No. My slippers are off to the right. So when I get up, slide them in, walk in, get the coffee going, get the day going. And I have to go get dressed.
Jax, you're 22?
22, about to be 23 next week.
So you have slides? You have slides ready next to the bed?
I'll have like flip-flops.
See?
But that's if I go outside though. If I'm inside, I just go barefoot.
3 minutes.
Oh my!
All right, let me finish. Underwear, of course, that's good. One-time vehicle detail or maybe a landscape service for your place.
Would love that.
Quality coffee.
Yep. Okay.
And socks. So there's your underrated gifts that are practical that I think people still like. Pepsi wants you to try Pilk.
Pilk.
Yeah, for the holidays.
You're
it's
fine.
Pepsi mixed with milk. Now, if you post a photo of yourself enjoying Pilk and cookies on social media, you can win $1,000 in hotel cash. Hotel cash. Holiday cash. I don't know why I said hotel.
Kind of a carbonated Pepsi milk flavored combo. I don't.
Well, you think you like a
milkshake,
a root beer float,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be
That's
right.
kind of
Pepsi float. Yeah, I guess it'd be the same thing.
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, Pepsi floats. I miss the A&W floats. Those are the best. With the frosted mug, Rock. You got to have the frosted mug.
And I got in trouble yesterday here at Twin Peaks in
Yes.
Tempe about the frosted mug. Right now it's at 28.9. Somebody just walked in the cooler, so I got in trouble for
We
that.
almost lost a partnership yesterday
Twin Peaks
with
sponsorship.
the owner on the air with
it said
us.
it was 30 degrees or whatever it was on the board here in the Tempe location, but I didn't know someone was in the opening up the door to where all the kegs are.
It's funny you said that because when I walked into the store after the show, it said 29 degrees of cold beer. It was like a big sign.
Yeah,
right next to Twin Peaks.
And I'm sitting there. Oh, man. Yeah, I renewal.
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
She was quick to say, well, the door must be open. Yeah, maybe must be
that
changing out cakes
that
or
was
something like
not
that.
good. Hey, random facts of the day are brought to you today by Valley Chevy Dealers. Your Valley Chevy Dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. Head to valleychevy.com. Of course, we're at Twin Peaks Scottsdale today. We'll be back at Toyota on Fridays starting next week. New patio grill set's up for grabs. If you want one, you can try to win one right now. Just text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. Coming up in hour number 3, we're going to talk some USC football and transfer portal with Sean Salisbury. We're going to give you a chance to win a $50 gift card with Kevin Rowe in our Learner Rowe over-under contest. And right out of the gate, Jackson's turn and Ben to get back at Jimmy B and Manuch. I'm not in there, am I?
You're in
my
there.
God,
You're
I'm in there.
I think
the rewind segment is coming up. That's all next. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with
Guys are hot.
on Fox Sports 910.
Hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. We're out here at Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. What's making news this hour? Suns tonight host the Rockets. Cardinals still off. Got the bye week, which they needed. And we had some conversation earlier today about ASU extending their winning streak to 5 as they knocked off Colorado last night, 60-59 in the Pac-12 opener in Boulder. And Arizona fell to Utah up there in Utah. Also, some conversation about the Yotes. Fell yesterday as they suffered their 7th loss in their last 8 games as they fell to the Kings. They'll take on Vancouver tomorrow. And the Thursday night game of the week, we saw the Bills beat the Pats 24-10 in Foxborough. And the Pats are the next opponent for the Arizona Cardinals next Monday night. So that'll be interesting as it's not very often that you see Bill Belichick lose a few games in a row.
It isn't. They got a bunch of injuries. They're hurting too. They've got a lot of guys that are down. And, Jones threw the ball fairly well last night, but they just came up short. So, hell, I don't know. Cliff gives this team, 2 weeks off. They show up for the game. They dress out. Maybe they'll do pretty good against Belichick and his team.
Hey, Monday night, speaking of Monday night, we'll be out at Casino Arizona in the CAC Sports Bar. It's now a sports book. You come out and join us Monday, giving away the cash. And if you've been following us, we have this progressive jackpot that after every kickoff, we add $25, and we're already over $2,900. So we may hit over $3,000. I mean, somebody could win, and there was a close one last week.
Boy,
I'm watching that, and my stomach's turning because I'm like, I wasn't there with you guys, and I'm like, all right, well, Manuch and Jax know if they hit, how to give them the money right there, or what do we do when there's a run back? Because we've only had a few. Because Devin Hester's been out of the league for a while.
Well, yeah. we had one when the jackpot was for that big game that we had. It was like $7,400. And the guy, at least up there up north, he was they were visiting from Wisconsin. And they were staying at the casino, at the hotel. They're taking it all in. They're there for the game. And lo and behold, we draw our name and bang, Devin Hester to the house, opening kickoff, $7,400.
Yeah. Unbelievable. We'll be doing that again for the big game, both at Talking Stick and Casino Arizona. This year in the showroom at Casino Arizona, bringing that back. All right, this is where Jax, Ben, they get an opportunity to have some fun with us, a rewind from this week. All the great things we did, all the great things we said, all the analysis we brought you, and always very clean and to the point, no screw-ups. So with that being said, Jax, the mic's yours.
All right, let's get the open going, Ben.
In case you missed this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jax puts it all together, the best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's shows. This is Jax's Rewind, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Jax's Rewind. Well, we're going to start off first. Manuch, you're great at pronouncing names. You pronounced the ASU hockey name of the player earlier. You spent some time.
Spent the whole morning trying to get
the star running back for the Chargers, Austin Eckler. He's a known name. Rock, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, just Eckler.
Apparently, Manuch doesn't really know how to say Eckler. Here's Manuch's pronunciation of Eckler.
Jimmy, I was talking about this a little earlier, Rock, is that it took them like 5 minutes to get the play off. So they lined up. They said, okay, let's review it one more time. Did he hit the pylon or not on the touchdown by Angler?
Right.
He did. Angler.
Stay off the damn weed. And they don't listen. Stupid.
Angler? Well, I was thinking fishing.
Yeah, all right, we're at Twin Peaks. You see all the fish on the wall. And
Eckler, my bad. Okay.
It's all right.
My bad.
Stay off the weeds. I had to put that clip on there. All right. So the next one, was brought to our attention by Rock. The most heartbreaking news of the week, Kendall and Devin breaking up. I was devastated. We're all devastated. So here's the reactions of that. And then probably the biggest jab that Rock's ever given at me of the year shortly after clip number 2.
Interesting reports today Devin Booker,
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner,
Yeah.
have reportedly decided to call it quit.
Oh, say it isn't so.
TMZ Sports.
Oh.
Yep.
Man.
Per TMZ Sports.
Yeah.
They split up, citing their hectic work schedules. Couldn't make it work. Couldn't make it work. I love some of the tweets out there. No more Kardashian curse. Suns going back to the finals. This explains why he's good again.
Yeah,
Booker MVP.
Yep.
The list goes on and on.
So Jax has a chance.
Yeah,
Give me
Jax
that.
is in. No, he doesn't. He can't even close it at Twin Peaks. You think he's going to be able to close it with Kendall Jenner?
Well, that's the minor leagues at Twin Peaks, and then maybe he moves. Who knows? Maybe they call him up, but you think of all that stuff, and to your point, Rob, maybe it is a lot better that he's playing better basketball, playing MVP basketball right now.
Wait a second. I think the bigger part of that story is Manuch was ripping me about 10 minutes ago, and so were you, Jax, about me messing up on the temperature of the cold mugs here.
Yeah.
And then what did he just say about the minor leagues at Twin Peaks? You're saying the women here are minor league?
No, I'm just saying.
That's what you said.
It'd be a step
That's
up.
exactly what you said. I think if Carolyn said that, and the owners heard you say the Twin Peaks girls are minor league.
No, I'm just
that's going to lose the sponsorship.
Okay. I think not that
That's
it's a
far
step
from
up.
true.
It's just that it's a step up financially. Is what
Oh, okay.
Supermodel.
Yeah, okay. All right,
understand,
nice try.
So does he have a chance? Or does he,
Yeah, here he does, but it's minor league though. I
gotta work on the Twin Peaks girls before
Yeah.
get a supermodel. But the next one, Roc and Manuch, you guys have been friends forever. I mean, you'd figure Roc would know all of Manuch's secret talents and what he's capable of doing, but he didn't know that Manuch can play the guitar.
Jeez.
Play this clip.
People got either hoodwinked with playing hoodwinking guitar, or they totally scammed playing a guitar. And I think it's the second one.
I think it's the scale.
I think it's totally cutter. What did I say? Guitar, cutter.
It's cutter. Yeah, you got a guitar?
Yeah, guitar.
Did you play the guitar?
I did. I do play guitar.
No, shut up.
I can play Louis.
Shut the front door, dude.
G, D, C, F.
You can play a Jackson. What's that video game where you play the guitar?
The air guitar.
Air guitar.
Air guitar. Yeah.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Well, I can play a little guitar. Absolutely.
Whatever.
You make me feel so
You
very
can-
happy by Van Morris. I can play that, pick that a little bit.
Pick that a little bit. Dude, I've been doing this 18 years with you, and I have never, ever
I want to see it.
talked to you about we should have a Rick Neuheisel plays the guitar.
Sure, he does. He's very good.
And Rick was on our
He's
show
good.
at the top of the 2:00
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
Next time he comes on next week or week after, we gotta have a little battle of the guitar.
Well, he plays it very, very well. I just know a few chords here and there, but I did take lessons for 2 years.
Doesn't mean you know how to play it. I took the drums. Doesn't mean I know how to play the drums.
I had Hey Jude down for a little while. I had some of the Beatles songs.
You live so in the past. What were you, like 12?
But I could strum it pretty good at one time. So I could hit a few chords
But you,
here and there.
but you can't. If I gave you a guitar right now, you couldn't play it.
I could hit the chords. Yes, I could.
Oh, hit the chords. Anybody can do that. I can go on YouTube and figure that out.
C, G, D.
All right, but that doesn't mean you can play the guitar.
And then I'll hit some
When
notes.
someone says, "Can you play an instrument?" It means you can play a song.
I could play a partial song. You make me feel so
Yeah.
very
So
happy.
you embellish
Van
so
Morrison.
much.
I got that down, Pat.
This
But
guy.
I was musically inclined at one time.
All right, well, this next one, Jimmy B, or I guess we should know him as Jimmy McCaffrey, because he's been saying
God.
this over and over again.
Let it go, Jimmy.
He still believes he's still mad about McCaffrey not getting the Heisman Trophy back in 2015. Here is this.
Put points on the board, TCU. The board you can. But here's what I'm really concerned about, because Caleb Williams at the USC QB, obviously the Heisman Trophy winner, I'm afraid that not enough of those bimbos that watch back east that they will even know who the Caleb Williams
they
is.
do. Oh, they do now.
No, they
Totally
don't.
now, Jimmy.
They
Jimmy, this is Stanford, dude.
I know they
You're
didn't.
so hung up on this.
Casper, yeah, they should.
You're so hung up on that.
I'm not hung up
Yes,
on
you are.
No,
You
I
haven't
lived-
since the day you and I do radio.
I lived in
I know.
I lived back
That's
there.
why you're hung up on it. USC is different. USC is the Pac-12.
Okay.
People know USC.
Okay.
Stanford,
They were
Cardinals.
good.
Most people call them the Cardinals. They don't even know it's the Cardinal.
You're right.
So I really think that I understand where you're coming from on
Yes.
that. But there's USC, then there's the Pac-12.
I agree.
Let it go, Jimmy.
Seriously.
Let it go.
It's like
That's his go-to, man.
He always goes to McCaffrey. Should have got the Heisman. East Coast bias. Oh well,
I think Jimmy had money on that.
he must have. There's something because it comes up at least once a month.
Oh my God! So, and then the last one. This was breaking news to you guys yesterday. Jock straps are no longer a thing in football.
Seriously.
Sorry to all the jock strap fans
Sniffers.
out there. This was their reaction on yesterday's show.
So, as a backup quarterback, you're always ready.
2 minutes.
Right.
I'm hippie, man.
I mean,
I'm always ready to go.
You're always ready.
Problem is, I was always dressed up to know where to go.
Oh, so let me ask
Actually
you.
ready.
Get him on. I want Jax on real quick. Jax, you're
How's it going, everybody?
So I want to ask you, in college, because you just finished up. There's 80 guys, 90 guys on the roster.
105.
105.
Plus
Okay,
or
you
minus.
at Montana,
Sure.
and all those guys dress.
Yes.
Are they wearing jocks? The guys that are freshmen?
Right.
No.
Okay.
I didn't wear a jock.
Okay. Good.
What?
No. You're soft.
So,
You wear a jock.
so
strap.
whoa. So did you play?
Wait. No, we're not saying when you played. I'm saying the guys that are like third string, fourth string, they know are not going to get in.
No one ever wore a jock strap.
So they don't wear those anymore.
No.
That's not the thing.
We got tidy whities, or how do you keep everything in
No,
place,
Manuch.
man? I mean, what's
You
up?
got,
with
you
that?
got you got the girdle, which keeps like your thigh pads and your knee pads.
Oh,
and
then
stuff
you
like
got
that in
news.
check.
So what you're saying? Breaking news.
Well,
Guys in D1 football don't wear, or in FBS, FCS don't wear
1 minute.
jock straps when they're playing.
Nope. Sorry, everyone. That thought they were wearing jock straps.
Boy, we're gonna have a good show today.
Yeah, so what I did was you have these things called girdles, Manuch,
I
and it
gotcha.
has like the thigh pads, and then you have the knee pads that go in the pants, right?
Gotcha, okay.
And you can wear the tights over top of it, so it keeps them all in check. I
can't-
never wore a jock strap.
So a running back does, though, right?
No one on our team wore a jock strap.
I can't believe that.
Maybe
At
it's 'cause
that
we're
level.
we're Montana tough, as they say.
So,
Montana tough. They only do it in Montana.
So the girdle keeps everything tight and in place, and so nothing's just moving around.
Yeah.
And that's just I can't imagine. I just cannot imagine that.
I can't either, especially if you're a running back.
Sure.
If you're getting
we got-
killed as a running back.
we got strong balls in Montana, folks.
Gosh. Anyway, that's Jack's rewind. Nice
Good job, Jax.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, it's our Learner Row under and over contest where you have a chance to compete against Kevin Rowe for a $50 Visa gift card. If you can beat him, we'll take the third caller at 602-260-9191 and we take your picks off the air. So for your chance to win, 602-260-9191. It's Roc and Manuch with Jamie B, Fox Sports 910.
Arizona's top full-service law. Need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And Lerner and Rowe. No fees unless you
Guys are hot.
Now, Counselor Kevin Rowe with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
Our counselor's been kind of busy on social media lately, as they are truly giving back this time of year. You see them everywhere. What they're doing is amazing. And Kevin Rowe joins us now on the right side of guest line on Fox Sports 910. How we doing, Kevin?
Roc, Manuch, how you guys doing?
Doing good, man. We missed you last week. You didn't work on Friday after that.
Yeah, where were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be honest. And first and foremost, I apologize, you guys. I was ready to go, and then, in all honesty and all sincerity, I was in with a client for an hour, and I didn't think it was going to go as long as it was, and it actually went over, and so unfortunately, I couldn't make it. But
that was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks.
Last week. Oh, last week was Thanksgiving. Yeah. You weren't on last week.
All right, just checking.
We're just saying.
We're just feeling you out.
We're just
feeling out. Yeah. All right, you're right. All right, we lost that one. That's all right.
See if you get
Counselor.
See that Prevagen's kicking in there for you.
See if it's working, Kev. It's good. Hey, real quick. Let's do this. Let's do the over-unders, and then we'll get into the Lerner Rowe gives back, because it's pretty extensive right now. All right. Let me see, who is this. All right, we got Chris in Peoria. Let's start with the first one, Kev. The amount of total offense combined in this Pac-12 Conference Championship with USC and Utah. We got it set at the over-under at 650. Are you going over-under 650?
Well, Roc, you know how much I hate that team that is playing Utah this week. Mm-hmm. And I actually was so excited because I watched the first meeting between these two teams and went down to the wire. Right at the end. So I am huge Utah Ute fan. Huge. And the quarterback put up 475 yards last time. Just him. So just so we're clear, this is going over.
Okay.
Over.
Okay, going over.
All right, let me see. Chris is also going over. Okay, both of you guys over.
All right, Counselor, question number 2. The total amount of passing yards combined in the LSU versus Georgia game will be over or under 575 yards. Over or under 575 yards. Georgia and LSU. Jaden Daniels, former ASU Sun Devil, taking at the helm against for LSU.
Yeah, and you said passing, right?
Passing.
Not total offense.
Yeah.
Passing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is great, but he's injured. So I don't know if you're going to see him be able to throw the ball a whole lot. He's not as mobile. And this Georgia team's crazy. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of running. Georgia's run defense isn't the greatest, but their run offense, they're coming off a game just to average 600 or 6.5 yards to carry. I'm looking at a lot of rushing. So I'm going to go with the under on passing.
All right, when Chris is
going over.
He's going over.
Went over.
Could be the shootout in Hotlanta there, big fella.
All right. Now this one, Manuch, I don't understand where you got this, but okay. Michigan will hold Purdue to over under 85 yards rushing. Only 85 yards. Are you taking the over or under on this one?
Look, I think we're all well aware that Michigan's got a fantastic all-around team. And coming off the Ohio State one, which was fantastic, you can't even say the Ohio State anymore. Is that correct?
No, you can always say it. You can always say it.
Ooh.
You can always say it.
Shot across the bow.
Yeah, you can always say it.
Wow.
Okay, so I don't know where this 85 yards is coming in. I still think Devin Maccabee is still a good running back. He's going to get some yards. I'm going to go with the over.
All right, and Chris has got the over as well, too. All right, last question. Winner and score of the TCU versus the fine, true Power Cat, the K-State Wildcats, for the game. A winner and score. By the way, the last time you picked a winner and score, that team actually won against your alma mater. So you feel free to pick against my K-State Cats as much as you want in this game.
I would expect nothing less from a distinguished K-State alumni.
Distinguished?
Thank you, sir.
Come on.
That the most Rhodes Scholars of all the colleges.
No other school would take them.
So, here's the thing. Obviously, TCU being undefeated, they have everything to play for. This is a big game for them, the college football playoff. But it's the first meeting, and I know Manuch was probably a little frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Field goals by K-State, the last drive of the game by TCU to win it. But there's also a quarterback change.
Yes.
Howard came in, and TCU wasn't really ready for him. I think they're going to be ready for him this year. So I'm going TCU.
Okay.
TCU.
Nope.
And I'm going to go. Sorry, Manuch.
No.
And I'm going 31-24.
Ooh,
TCU.
Okay. Well, we lost. We were down to our fifth string quarterback. You mentioned we did miss a couple field goals. We were up 28-10 at one time during the game. Hell, I think they were going to call me at halftime. I just couldn't get to Manhattan quick enough. But all right. Well, I can feel that. We'll tape that just in case my K-State Cats.
Just in case.
Yeah, they take care of business.
Hey, I got to tell you, Washington had a good year this year, man. 10-2. I mean, that's impressive.
They actually had a great year.
Yeah.
They had a great year, and the frustrating part of it is, look, they played a tough UCLA team on the road for their first road game. Remember, the first 4 games are at home.
Yeah.
Played that tough team. UCLA was playing big at that time. I give that a loss, no big deal. But coming in to ASU the following week, and is it stubbing a toe? I don't even know if you can actually say that that's what they did. They didn't do well at all, and that's the game I wish they could take back because they could be in that top 6, 5 right now. At 10-1, or excuse me, 11-1.
And a nice comeback game in the Apple Cup. You came back and won that game, Counselor. I was wondering.
They looked good. It was a good game to watch. It was fun.
So, and what's interesting?
Watch this faces.
So, Utah, you loses to USC. They'll be 9-4. So that means Washington at 10-2 would end up in the Rose Bowl to play Ohio State. So that wouldn't be bad. Washington, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. It wouldn't be bad.
I didn't know that. That's a big matchup. That's a huge matchup.
That would be actually a really good game. How about that?
That'd be a tough one for sure.
Well, I think that whoever in that top 4, if the USC loses, whoever, I think Ohio State gets bumped up into the top 4.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
Yeah, so I think when my K-State Cats beat TCU, we're going to do Ohio State a favor and they'll move up.
Well, we'll appreciate that.
Yeah, we certainly.
As an Ohio State fan.
You
Hey, real quick, Kev, tell us what's going on. This is a big month for your practice and all the Learn and Row people out there and the locations you have throughout the country. You guys truly give away a lot during this time of year.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We just got some pretty crazy numbers that I couldn't be more proud of. We just came off our Thanksgiving meal giveaways. We gave away 5,000 meals to individuals for Thanksgiving. But the real cool thing is, I don't even know if you're aware about this, Rock, because I just got the numbers recently. Between Learner and Row Injury Attorney and Learner and Row Gives Back, those two entities have given over $1.7 million in 2022 alone.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty proud of that.
Should be.
Excited about that. And Rock, that goes to you too, because you're obviously on the board and on our golf committee. So truly excited and proud of that, what we've been able to do. And there's a lot of things we have coming up. There's current things we have going on. This weekend we have the Children's Hospital benefit event that we're title sponsor of. We donated $50,000 for that. We have Put on a Cape, that is an organization we just started working with, and they work with families and children that have been sexually or physically abused. And we're giving them Christmases. 10 families this year giving them Christmases. So we're truly excited about that and the work that those detectives and sergeants do in our police force. They're part of the Special Victims Unit. Pretty crazy stuff there. And then we got our 25 Days of Giving going on right now. Facebook, 25 Days of Giving. Go to
30.
Learner Row's Facebook page. Like it. Share it. Make a comment or a wish, and you just may get it. We're giving up to $500 a gift a day away. So, and then 2 for Tuesdays. You on Tuesdays, you tag a friend, make the wish. You both may win. So we're excited about that. Good stuff coming up. Good stuff that we're doing, and we're excited to end the year strong and trying to help everybody to finish it off.
That's awesome, man. Big numbers. He's a director of marketing, Kevin Rowe, here on, man. He's got this down now.
He sure does.
I mean, he's got it all like he's got it right in front of him.
And he's so articulate the way he lays
I
it out
know.
there.
It's like he's done it before.
He's got those notes right in front of him.
Yes.
Right there.
Amazing. Amazing. We love you, Kev, man. Have a great weekend, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished counselor.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Hey, if you want to check it all out, go to learnerrow.com or learnerrowgivesback.com as well. Both of them, as he mentioned, 2 entities. Seriously, you think about that, Manuch?
It's amazing.
Over $1 million?
$1.7 million
in 1 year?
In 1 year.
That's
Good for
awesome.
those
Good
guys.
stuff. Hey, Sean Salisbury is going to join us next. Unfiltered, uncensored. We'll talk about the transfer portal, get his thoughts on what's going on. And you got a Notre Dame player now gone. You already heard about a Michigan player. Caleb Williams, Heisman. We're getting into all that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
This Goes unfiltered with Roc and Manuch, now on Fox Sports 910.
Williams keeps it. First down. Touchdown. That's a hat trick of rushing touchdowns for Williams to go along with one passing one. He has done everything tonight.
Khalid Williams last week, that's the 16-yard run. It was his third touchdown. Courtesy of ABC 15, or ABC, I should say. Joining us now on the right Twitter guest line. You can follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered, host of the Sean Salisbury Show, amongst a lot of other things on Sports Talk Radio 790 in Houston. Sean, Roc and Manuch, how's your Friday going?
I'm doing good, fellas. How about you?
Good. Are you going to be up early to watch World Cup tomorrow? Is that your thing? Are you into that?
Oh yeah, I'm watching Brazil play right now. So yes, I am heavily into it. I'll be up watching that before college football and hopefully celebrating the USC win tonight.
Is it gratifying watching soccer as maybe going to a matinee, or
that's debatable. The difference is I can always tape the game and rewatch it. And I know people say you can always go to a movie. So if you're asking me if a great movie at 1:00 Central or World Cup, Brazil and versus Cameroon, I'm probably going to the movie. But if it was USA, I'll delay the movie and go later. But yeah, there are a couple good movies out, I guess. So I'll adjust. But no, today no movie. Just get ready. I'm just walking around in my USC hooded sweatshirt, getting ready for the game. So there you go.
Let's talk about the game. What is there? Anything Khalid Williams has to prove to the United States and the voters that he deserves or not deserves the Heisman Trophy?
Well, it's his right now. He's just got to go play well. I mean, if he threw 4 picks in a game or didn't play well and they got beat, then depending on Max Duggan's game tomorrow, who's a Unitas winner, the Golden Arm, so he's still in it. But if Caleb Williams plays 80% of the way he played against Notre Dame, not only will he win it, he deserves it. He's been the best player this year. And considering it's not like his defense gets off the field and they only give up like 10 points a game and he doesn't have to do much. He has to do everything. And they're a dangerous team, but they got to get some stops. But I think if they voted today, if it was over, he'd win the Heisman Trophy. Tonight will be validation because, people are going to be watching. It's the final game, and their votes aren't all in yet. So this will just be, I think, a validation that he's the winner. And if they play well, I think it'll be closer in second place and third than it will first.
I got to tell you what, Sean, the ending of that Utah game the first time around, what a phenomenal game it was. The kid, bad position, really nowhere to throw the ball on that last throw. What do you see different? I hear a lot of people, I even hear yourself, a lot of the USC alumni say, if we get some stops or get our defense to step up, they should win this game. So I don't know if we're going to see the first one to 45 win. I think the first one to 24 wins this game.
Yeah, well, I'm anxious to see because I don't think we're going to want to play them, meaning USC, in some kind of phone booth or in tight quarters because, Kyle Whittingham's teams are always so physical. And if it got into that like a body blow game, where you're giving body blows, I don't like our chances on defense. Now, we can run the football. And you saw last week, even with losing their number one runner, last week was a big mix of run and pass, which was awesome for them to mix that in. But I think what you want to do, you tenderize them a little bit, but I think you want to make Utah's defense play more in space. Now, the difference in this Utah team as opposed to others, that Rising's a really good player, and he matched Williams play for play in the first game. So, and I love Kyle Whittingham's guts to go for 2 and end it, knowing that even in your own building. So, I still think, Manuch, if you said, Sean, will the winner be in the 30s? I'm going to say yes. But it's going to take a couple stops because you don't want to go back and forth because I do not want it to be a field goal game late because if it is, then the kill the clock Kyle Whittingham stuff this comes in. I'd like a little leeway, but our defense, if there's no better time than now to step up against a really good team and give yourself some comfort late in the game. But they'll turn you over. I mean, USC knows how to get turnovers and get after the quarterback, but they give up too many points. They've got to stop it because that's just too much pressure for the offense to have to hang 35 or 40 on them every week.
Sean Salisbury, Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910. Sean, staying with quarterbacks, transfer portal, who's running the show you now Drew Pine is transferring. He's going in there. We saw McNamara go in the transfer portal. Shouldn't there be maybe some rules here, and maybe they can wait until after the bowls? Something.
And McNamara got picked up by Iowa already 2 days later.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm all for if a guy, has used up his eligibility, he's got a graduate transfer. McNamara in his case. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't wait. What happens? I mean, to me, what happens if all of a sudden J.J. McCarthy hurts his hamstring in the Final Four?
Exactly.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I don't know how. Now I know people. You're going to get the naysayers say, "Well, coach has been doing it for so long. Let the kids do what they want." I can't fathom. I cannot fathom. I mean, and if you're Iowa, I can't fathom if you're Cade McNamara. Now I know he's a graduate transfer. He lost the job to J.J. McCarthy, and I get it. But I can't fathom at this stage of the game. You're getting ready to play in a Big Ten championship. You may need to play, and then the Final Four. That you would go and say, you know what, I think I'll just leave my teammates hanging. I lost the job, so I think I'll just go now. Instead of, even if you're Iowa and you love McNamara, wouldn't you look at the quarterback if he said, wouldn't you respect him even more if he said, oh, yeah, we'll take you. We already know we want you. Go finish the season. Go finish with the Wolverines. Hell, even though they're in the Big Ten, I would want a guy that's coming to me to know that he's committed to my team. Does that make sense? I don't mind him transferring, but why not January 15th? Why now? Well, what's he going to all of a sudden put the playbook in 2 weeks when everybody's on holiday? I don't understand. Transferring I'm okay with if he wants to as a grad transfer. But why would you leave when the biggest games on the planet are still ahead? And you're going to play Georgia at some point more than likely. And if McCarthy takes a hit, why the hell would you want to be the guy to go in? I don't understand it. So I don't mind the transfer portal when it's done for the right reasons. I don't like it that a kid can transfer 4 times without any and go get more name, image, and likeness money. And I hate when people say, well, coaches do it, players can do it. I don't want a guy coming to my school if he's transferred 4 times. I don't. I want nothing, because he'll wilt in the fourth quarter. And you know why he's transferred all the time? Because he hasn't been able to beat out squat at any of the other places. Now, you get beat out and you're hitting or like Hudson Card. Arch Manning's coming to Texas. Quinn Ewers is going to be a first-round pick next year. They're already there. He's caught in the middle. He's a good player. I get the transfer once and want to go start somewhere. That I get. I don't get you're pissed off at the coach for 1 second. Leave on your team during a season when you're in the Final Four more than likely after you beat Purdue, and they may need you. I don't know. To me, that's just kind of a Bush League teammate. Could you wait a month? Maybe. Iowa, I'm assuming if they love you, would wait on you, right? It makes no sense to me, man. And there's got to be some regulations on how many times you can transfer. It borders on embarrassment.
Or just when. I mean, with Drew Pine today saying he's entering a transfer portal, he's still got 3 years of eligibility. He says he's not going to play in the bowl game. I mean, why can't they wait? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? You still are going to be fine.
Didn't he start against USC last?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
yes.
You're the starting quarterback at the most iconic program in the world 1 week in Notre Dame, and 5 days later you decide, you know what, I think I'm leaving with 3 years eligibility. What Coach Freeman or the quarterback coach chew you out? I mean, is that what happened? Did somebody get mad at you and you can't? I don't get it. You starter to transfer, and you're exactly right. There's got to be also a time when you can leave. Hell, we're still in bowl games or championship weekend and possible bowl games and big-time Final Four type thing for some. Yeah, the Pine thing, to me it felt really weird. It feels like he had a difference of opinion this past week after the game and didn't like it because he's starting. How do we know who's going to lose the job in the spring? I don't understand it. And, yes, it's way too much Wild West. 40,000 guys or whatever it is in the transfer portal, and they can just do it whenever they want. Nah, I'm not all about that. I'm all for the kid, but to a point, it's out of hand.
Sean, now just real quick, got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes here. The Bills have won 3 games in the last 12 days. Let that marinate for a second.
Wow.
Will we think about this 3-game stretch, how they handled that if they move on and win it all, that this was the pivotal point in their season?
Yeah, we knew they were good going in. I had it was my pick the preseason to win the whole thing. And then they've gone through lulls like everybody does, right? You're like, oh, you didn't close that out, or the quarterbacks made some poor decisions. I'll tell you what it tells me. Is it injuries, poor play, whether if they've stayed focused, they haven't made excuses for being tired, and that they're a resilient football team, and they should still be the favorite along with Kansas City in the AFC. They just, even though Miami's there, I get it, but I think there's a little bit, we're still a little more experienced with Buffalo, and after last year getting close, so it tells me they're a resilient, tough-ass football team, and now they're going to get a little bit of rest for a minute and get themselves right. But, yeah, that's tough sledding, but that's what happens when you're good. They like to put you on Thanksgiving. They like to put you on Sunday nights and Monday nights and make you play. And the fact is that they've won them. That's another thing. Pretty good football team.
Sean, good luck to your Trojans tonight. We always appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on game day, man. That means a lot. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, yeah, because what Scott's going to get in the way between now and then? No, we're good, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
We love you, buddy.
Have a good one. All right, buddy. Love you guys too.
Sean Salisbury joining us. Follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered, and he is brought to you today by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to grow. They're hiring. Talked to their general manager the other day. They have current positions, full-time positions, all over the board, all over their entire business, and they are huge. They're the biggest in the state. Go to allcitytowing.com/careers. Just search careers there on allcitytowing.com, and you can take advantage of their incredible benefits, the 401k program with the generous company match. It's all there, but the fastest way to apply is online. Go to allcitytowing.com and search careers, allcitytowing.com. Coming up, it's the last segment of the week. It's our Learner Row one call. That's all. We'll tell you what's on tap for the weekend, too, to get the schedule all ready to go with your significant other, because you need to fit in some time for World Cup and for football. That's next as we continue from Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 9.
Voted Arizona's best law firm.
ASU down by 2. 10 seconds to go. Cambridge. Horn. Cambridge for the lead. Oh! He put it down with 2.6 to go. ASU by 1.
That was last night. Congrats to ASU. Their big win over Colorado came from behind. Got to tell you, FS1, if you work there, can you please stop using the NBA on NBC theme song, which was a staple from 91 to 2002, because you hear it playing and you're like, what's going on here? You're looking for NBA and you're seeing college basketball.
Did they buy the rights to have that song?
I'm sure they did.
Because you pretty much you hear that and go, you can't come up with your own original song?
Yeah, the John Test song.
Yes, John Tesh. He was very good in concert.
You should play that, Ben, if you haven't. Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on. But that's what they're playing.
Yeah, that's weak.
On FS1.
It is so weak.
Coming in and out of their breaks and stuff for their show, and I'm like, that's just weak.
Yeah,
like, come on.
What do we forgot we grew up with that song. Like folks have forgotten that new era.
There's some new guy, a producer, said, dude, this is a great song. We should use this. Having no clue that it was a staple in the NBA on NBC for 10 plus years.
I wonder if John Tesh charged him twice the amount for having to reuse that.
Speaking of the NBA, Rockets Suns tonight on Bally Sports, Arizona. That thing will tip off at 7. Tomorrow, the Coyotes are at the Canucks, also on Bally Sports. That's at 8 o'clock. Sunday, no cards. So of course, they're on the bye week. You got Suns and Spurs. Early game at 2 o'clock there in San Antonio. That's on Bally Sports. Cal at Arizona. Cal hasn't won a game yet. They're 0-8. That'll be on the Pac-12 network. 3 o'clock is tip-off for that. And then Stanford will host Arizona State. 5 o'clock on ESPN2. Here on Fox Sports 910, ASU hockey. We had Greg Powers, the head coach, on earlier today. They're up at Denver, number 1 team in the country. Big game for them. Starts coverage here at 6:30 tonight, tomorrow, 5:30. And then we got some NFL here on the home of the National Football League. Titans, Eagles, Dolphins, 49ers, Colts, Cowboys. So we got you covered all weekend long with the National Football League.
All right,
tomorrow, what's on the docket? I'll take the points out at CAZ.
Oh, we're going to talk college football playoff. We're going to talk NFL.
Talk about Kevin Ray and his travels.
No, we'll talk. Where's Rocco and next for his next big trip? We'll talk. Who knows? But we got a lot in store. You just got to stay tuned.
Can we have like a meeting with Bauer and just say, Bauer, it's called Take the Points. You need to be talking about gambling. It's a gambling show. It's the only gambling show, and not talk about the play-by-play TV voice of the Suns and how he gets to Dallas and how he gets home from Dallas.
You're gonna have you guys
spent like 10 minutes on that.
I don't have a whole lot to
say.
say.
Did he get called to the principal's office on that, by the way?
He should have.
Yeah, he should have from that standpoint. By the way, you guys will be on there when the K-State TCU game kicks off at 10.
ESPN Game Days in Arlington.
That's right. So you guys will be reporting on that. Although all those lines, get those lines in quickly, right?
100%. It keeps moving. It was at 1.5 just now. What
Scott Spicer
said. Yeah.
Why don't you give us the results on our State 48 Roofing? It's your call question of the day, Manuch.
It's what underdog in the conference championships have the best chance at an upset? Is it Utah over USC? Is it K-State? Is it K-State over TCU tomorrow?
That's at 10 o'clock.
LSU over Georgia.
2 o'clock.
And Purdue over Michigan.
6 o'clock.
And you can still go to @Roc and Manuch before tonight's game. Right now, leading the charge, K-State over TCU, 55.6%. Second is Utah over USC at 33.3%. And last but not least, Purdue over Michigan, about 11.1%. LSU over Georgia, no chance. Could you imagine if LSU beat Georgia? And I thought what Scott Spicer said in reference to, they're already in. Georgia's already in. Will they have the motivation to win this bad boy? I think they will. I think Kirby Smart will make sure they're ready to win the SEC championship. You don't want to go in with a loss into the playoff. And would they be seated any differently if they lost to LSU? They'd be in the 4, but would you look at Michigan, if they win, then they go up to 1, and does Georgia drop 2?
Yeah, I think Kansas State has the biggest chance, and it's because Will Howard. Howard's been playing well. He brings that passing dynamic to their offense, whereas Adrian Martinez was more of a running quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how Will Howard plays against that.
Let's go Cats.
Our What's on Tap is powered every day here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B by America's leading home selling program. That's 72 Sold. And everyone knows the home sales market's getting a little tougher. Number of sales are down, prices are down, but 72 Sold is still getting top dollar for their customers. You're making a big mistake if you go the traditional route. 72 Sold has a solution for today's home seller market. So check it out for yourself. Go to 72sold.com. Get your price, a higher price at 72sold.com. Monday, we'll be out at Casino, Arizona in the CAZ Sports Bar for Monday Night Football, and our jackpot will start at just over $2,900 as you can win money just for watching football. We got squares, we got props, we got the kickoff challenge, we got throw for dough. It's all there at Casino, Arizona at 101 McKelps in the CAZ Sports Bar. So looking forward to that. Jack's nice job on the rewind today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I didn't get it too bad. Other than earlier today, just now you could have used me for saying Khalib
versus Caleb.
Well, I know I grew up with a kid named Khalib, so Williams.
Was Khalib an actual name when you were growing up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, like A-Rod.
Yeah. Caleb Williams. That's next week, right? The Heisman Trophy presentation's a week from Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's next Saturday.
And then, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, we'll see who the top 4 are for the playoffs.
Hey, we know there's lots of buttons in your car to listen to sports radio. We appreciate you hanging out with us for a few minutes today, or hopefully longer. We'll do it again on Monday, beginning at 1 o'clock from Casino, Arizona. Don't forget, tomorrow gets going at 9 a.m. with Backspin the Golf Show, and then Take the Points at
10.
11, and then some great programming here on Fox Sports. We'll see ya. Have a great weekend.